Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the thing. So do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo.
We are live!
Do it for Deuce and Mo.
What a way to start your Monday night. Juice Mason, Morgan Reagan, we are live hanging out tonight, talking some hoops. Shout out to
Hoops. Ooh.
Vagilistic.
Is it?
I would say, I can't say.
I think you can say it. Vagilicious.
Vagilicious?
Which sounds. Let's go, Kings.
Oh, it's still going to be live. Thanks so much for the new sub on Twitch. Shout out to everyone watching us live tonight. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. We'll be taking Twitter Spaces calls and Discord calls tonight as we hang out. We're getting closer and closer to the NBA season. And Shout out to my guy Drew in the chat. My guy Drew in this chat who said a haircut? You could say that. And I guess I'll do what you guys demand every single time I get a haircut every 3 weeks. Let's admire it before we start the show. All right?
Don't act like you schedule it every 3 weeks.
It was literally 3 weeks ago. Now,
Was
you want
it?
to go? You want to look at all the dates?
Was it really just
Yes.
3 weeks?
There
Impressive.
we go. Check out the skin fade, baby.
Ow.
Is that slow enough? It's like when I turn around, I just see it. I'm like, that's a good-looking man.
Hector wants to know where you get a haircut.
Shout out Chris at Tailored. All right, we're going to have some fun tonight. Talk some NBA schedule. Talk to the fans out there on Twitter Spaces and on Discord. So if you want to chat, hit us up. Deuce and Mo coming down. 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Welcome to the Deuce and Mo podcast, a night chat edition. Recording this on a Monday night at 7 o'clock. Presented by our friends over at the Detail Pros of Sacramento. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
I'm so good. Totally thought it was Tuesday for some reason, but it's only Monday, which is totally fine too. I think maybe it's also throwing me off that we're doing a podcast at night, but I dig it. Hey, we're getting closer and closer to the season. So we got to get back into our groove of being up at night, talking to all of you at night.
Yeah, and I like the interaction at night because we'll take some Twitter Spaces calls and Discord calls. People check in with us. We just hang out and chat about what the hell is happening in our sports world. Where is this all going to go tonight? We'll find out. We are getting some leaks regarding the NBA schedule we could talk about. There's news on Kevin Durant today, and Giannis had some interesting things to say about his future in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
we'll be the judge of it. We'll be the judge of it. We'll be the judge. I think we got to start tonight's show talking about someone who had such a big impact on the Sacramento Kings in the late 90s to early 2000s, and that is the iconic Pete Carril, who passed away today at the age of 92. And what a gem this guy was. Of course, he had a storied career as the head coach at Princeton. That's where he coached future Kings GM Jeff Petrie. He eventually comes to Sacramento in 96, part of Rick Adelman's coaching staff 98, 99. And he was such an important part to Rick Adelman's coaching staff where they installed the Princeton offense, which spurred so much in the NBA. And I mean, to this day, his concepts are being used in offense. We're talking about off-ball movement, backdoor cuts, spacing. He was such an innovator, but he was also just a great person. And, you know, he lived a long, great life, 92 years.
Yeah, it's lovely today seeing what people have to say about him. And obviously, again, being here in Sacramento, which I'm sure, you know, I know we have NBA fans and Kings fans listening today too. I'm sure you're all seeing it as well. And it's like you said, what he meant to the game and everything. It's cool that he was right here coaching in Sacramento.
Yeah. You know, they called him Yoda.
Yeah, makes
little guy.
Totally makes sense. Yes.
But I've talked to Doug Christie about him multiple times, and Doug said he was so vital to his career. Because he encouraged Doug, like, go make that behind the back pass. It can actually be a tool. It could be something you could use.
Right.
Don't look at it as something that's just flashy.
Yep.
Use it as a way to move the ball
Efficient.
effectively if it's there. He encouraged them to have fun playing basketball, and he had great conversations with them. And he was just an easy guy for these players to talk with. This guy who was just full of basketball knowledge, who did it at such a high level at Princeton. And he was a vital part for the Sacramento Kings. Really kind of one of those unsung heroes.
Yeah. So rest in peace.
To the legend. And it also is great that he was an awesome person.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I didn't know him personally, but again, all the stories that I have always heard about him and then seen today, it's no doubt.
Well, Morgan, the NBA schedule is starting to get leaked out. bit by bit.
Oh.
Sounds like the Kings are going to be opening their season at home against the Blazers Wednesday, October 19th. I said it a couple weeks ago. Sounds like they will have one nationally televised game.
Do you know when?
In January.
Okay, cool. You totally know, don't you? Okay.
But this full schedule comes out on Wednesday, and we'll be live with a night chat that night to break down every single game of the Kings schedule.
Hell yeah. Hell
Game
yeah.
1 through 82. Full preview.
We'll not be breaking down every game, but it's so funny because every time the Kings schedule does come out every year, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so stupid when everyone goes game by game. And then there's times where you're just excited and you think about what the other team has on their roster and what you're excited to see from their roster as well. So yes, I'm excited.
I think the things that I always look for is, okay, are you playing on any holidays? How many long homestands are you having? How many long road trips are you having? There's going to be a long road trip in February.
Ooh.
Long one, 7 games.
Wow.
Looking at some of the stuff we do know around the NBA, it's getting leaked out left and right. Opening night has been put out there by Shams Charania over from The Athletic. Sixers Celtics, the first game of the NBA season. That's actually a great matchup by the NBA there because either way, it's big if it's Sixers Celtics.
Sure.
But if you start throwing in the layer of Durant could be on either one of those teams, it makes it even bigger. That's a no-brainer.
That drama definitely spices things up. But either way, yeah, you're right. It's like Joel Embiid, James Harden. Every year we start off the year wondering what type of shape James Harden is going to be in, right? You know, where's he at with everything? With the Celtics, we know that they had a very long season. What type of team are they going to look like right away? I think there's going to be so many people that, what is it called? Don't realize that it's game 1 of the NBA season and they exaggerate what they see. But you have to remember, no matter what, it's the first game of the season. A lot of shit changes.
Can we just address the elephant in the room right now?
What's that?
Your voice. What's going on?
What do you mean?
It just sounds like, I mean, is it Chad? Am I crazy here? Does her voice sound kind of like raspy and like you lost your voice?
I mean, I was singing over the weekend. Don't make me sing.
You went out over the weekend.
All right, let's just be real. Yeah, I went out. I went out in my sweats, and I went out.
Wait, like, what do you mean?
Like a sweatshirt and sweat shorts. You know, like didn't have makeup on.
I mean, that's just embarrassing. Not the no makeup part, just the I mean, it's August. It's like 98 degrees.
I wasn't even hot because, hello, we would go indoor to every single place, and then I'm like somewhat cold. But I drank, and I drank more than expected, and I sang at a karaoke bar at like 4:00 in the afternoon. And then I just did not feel well all day on Sunday. And I feel like whenever I do have like a drinking night, which is not often anymore, my voice goes away, whether I'm singing or not.
What did you sing? What was on the Morgan karaoke playlist?
Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, Midnight Train to Georgia. You got, what else? I got some Aretha Franklin in there.
Wow.
No. I saw some videos of myself because it was just me and 2 of my girlfriends in a room. And it was probably some of my worst singing I had ever done. Like I couldn't hit, I think my voice was already gone. Couldn't hit notes. And I remember this, the karaoke lyrics were way faster than the song. It was just like not working out for me. It wasn't what I was used to. It wasn't like home advantage, you know? I was like,
can you give us like a little preview of what it sounded like?
No, because
the people don't haven't heard you sing karaoke. Why don't you do a little, I don't know,
Deuce,
Aretha Franklin on a Monday night, huh?
Listen to my throat. That is so disrespectful to Aretha Franklin. You will get Aretha Franklin if the Kings do something well in the first 10 games.
I'm sorry, what? If they do, what's that even mean? If they do something well, you'll sing Aretha Franklin. Oh, you're gonna grace us with that. I don't really care that much. It's not like a.
And I'm not
I just
that
want to hear what
good,
it sounded
so-
like.
I can't, like, Deuce,
Dude.
you're the one that brought up my throat and my voice and me not sounding normal, and then you're wanting me to sing like this. Like, that's just going to hurt me more. That's awful.
The other game that I want to talk about opening night that kind of irritated me.
I know. I've heard this already 100 times.
Why are the Warriors on opening night opening up against a non-playoff team? The
Go.
Warriors are taking on the LA Clippers opening night when the Warriors get their rings. We're
Wait,
giving
whoa. You just said the LA Clippers.
No, I didn't. I said Lakers.
You said the LA Clippers.
Chat, did I say Clippers or
Did
Lakers?
everyone else hear Clippers?
I said Lakers. 100%. Tell me right now. I need to know.
Yeah, wait. Don't even keep on going until yes. Come on, people. Clippers. He said Clippers. Thank you.
You guys are messing with me.
No, I swear on everything. That's why I was like, what is he saying?
Okay.
Non-playoff team, the LA Clippers. Get it right, bud. So the Lakers.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. All you guys are lying. I don't believe anybody here right
Hey,
now.
there's
I
no-
don't believe anybody
No.
here.
There's only like one other person in the world that's like that. No.
Okay. Let's rewind. Pretend none of this
Uh-huh.
happened. The Warriors are opening up against a non-playoff team. It's the Warriors and Lakers opening night from the Chase Center in San Francisco. How do you feel about the opening night schedule? I mentioned the first one. You got Celtics, Sixers. That one makes sense, right? You could have the KD factor looming large.
Even if the KD factor doesn't factor in that one, it's still
Right, it's big.
Solid.
Warriors, Lakers. And I get it from this standpoint. Like, trust me, I put it on social media, did not realize how many people would, you call it mansplaining, right?
Oh, yes.
I don't even know what I would call this.
Yeah.
People explaining to me, well, LA is actually a big market. Don't you understand TV ratings? Oh no. I completely understand TV ratings. I'm talking about putting a big game on. Here's the game I would have done opening night. Warriors, Grizzlies, let's tip it off. These guys have some animosity. It's a young team that's got something to prove. Their season ended at the hands of the Golden State Warriors. John Morant was hurt. They can have some back and forth. That would be cool. Now, the league did a good job. They are having that game on Christmas Day. But make that opening night. Instead, we get the Lakers. Cool. Force the Lakers and Knicks down our throats on all these nationally televised games. I get it. Big market. You're trying to get the ratings. But to me, I think you can tell great stories. This isn't 1998. This isn't 2004. We could talk market size all day. What fans want is good basketball. And if you have compelling stories and you try to put teams over, putting teams over matters too. It's like in wrestling, right?
What I'll give you with that too, because we've talked about this before, sports fans have more resources than ever to become very smart sports fans, right? You know, back then it really was like there's so many casuals because there's not so much out there where you can dive in and do your homework. There are so many basketball fans, NBA fans that I know that are very smart. A lot listen to this show.
Let's
and are
not
on
go
Twi-
that far.
Hey.
Let's not go that
And are
far.
on Twitter. And again, thank you all of you. But I've seen it with my own eyes. And these basketball fans want good basketball. They don't give a shit if it has Lakers across the jersey or not. Right?
But the NBA is like, yeah, we already know we're going to get the hardcore fan no matter what. I do understand it. They're trying to get the casual. It's opening night. You're trying to create excitement. How do you do it? Oh, let's put Steph and LeBron on TV. I do understand it. I don't know that you have to do that opening night, though, because I think you could have that matchup later in the season and draw people to maybe a matchup they wouldn't be into. If you have that game in like February or in January, whatever. But I guess also the NBA doesn't want to risk that, you know, one of the key stars is missing because they have to rest or some sort of other garbage like that. So
Whatever.
why not put it opening night?
Like sometimes even you look at this Lakers squad and whether they win or not, that doesn't matter. Are you going to get this good, solid, competitive basketball game? You'd think so, but you also have to understand the Warriors have had a much longer season. The Lakers got to
Right.
rest a lot longer. But
I'm not even
then
there. I'm not breaking down the game.
let's break it down. Lakers,
mean-
brand new coach. You got, but you get what I'm saying. Like there's still going to be storylines here, Deuce. So it could be exciting and everything, but I understand your point.
The one game that got leaked out tonight that made me laugh was the Suns home opener
What was that?
against the Dallas Mavericks.
That's cute.
After what happened in Game
Yeah.
7, the NBA is like, yeah, here's your chance to make up for what happened in Game 7, that embarrassment on your home floor.
Dude, like, what do you do if you... That's
Can we also...
that's a tough one.
We also need to talk about the Shams tweet about that game that I thought was kind of weird.
What did he say?
I'm going to show it on the screen. After the blowout Game 7 loss in the West semifinals, the Suns will host the Dallas Mavericks in their season opener for both teams on October 19th. Luka Doncic and his new backcourt starter Spencer Dinwiddie versus Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Okay. Thanks. I'm so glad you keyed me in on that Dinwiddie-Luka backcourt. That's circle that one. What?
I don't know. I mean, I don't need to crap all over it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Deuce, I've already shit on like 7 things.
I'm not
in this.
trying to get you to crap on anything. I just think it's kind of a funny tweet. When you talk about like marquee matchups, you're thinking of Luka, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. I don't throw Dinwiddie's name in it. Is that so hard? Now you're making me feel like the bad guy here. Because I don't want to say anything. What? There's not. I'm not.
No,
There's no
'cause
hot takes flying.
I know there's not, but you kind of are the bad guy here.
Okay.
A little bit?
I have no idea what. No.
Really? Okay. I thought the tweet was just strange because he was like giving me, like teasing me for that game, like trying to set it up like it was something else. But I'm just saying, I think you're being harsh on Spencer Dinwiddie. That's all.
Okay.
What? Am I soft now?
You're always soft. There's no point. I didn't realize that would even be a thing. I just thought it was funny. Your the marquee matchups, you're throwing that name in there. Christmas Day games, Morgan.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting for the league this year because the NFL is putting on 3 games on Christmas Day. They're going at the NBA on Christmas Day. So the NFL is going to dominate.
Sure.
Christmas Day, Bucks, Celtics. You cool with that?
Yes.
Sixers, Knicks.
Well, I don't get it, but what?
Well, it's
okay.
the Knicks. It's
Yeah,
Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Suns, Nuggets. That's cool. That's a good matchup.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that.
Lakers, Mavericks.
Sure.
LeBron, Luka.
Sure.
LeBron will be the first ever player to play 17 Christmas Day games, according to NBA Reddit, by the way.
Okay. And then I have something to say after this last game because I like this one.
Grizzlies, Warriors.
Yep. I like that one. But last year I felt like we got some good Christmas Day games. Maybe it was like 2 of them that were pretty solid.
I'm the biggest NBA fan out there.
Yeah.
I hate Christmas Day games.
God, I so disagree with you.
You just said there are some great games. I can't tell you one thing about what happened on Christmas Day in the NBA last year. It doesn't matter to me. To me, it's like Christmas Day needs to be about Christmas and watching movies, hanging out. It's not about watching NBA games. It's not these players shouldn't be playing on Christmas. I know it's the big marquee. It's the official start of the season. I just don't love it. Maybe if you had 1 game, but you have 6 games or 5-6 games on Christmas Day.
Six dilutes the product a little bit on Christmas Day. But if you only put 3 and you got 1 out of 3 good games, it's just tough sometimes in this sport, right? You look at the Lakers and we have no idea what they're even confirmed to look like when this season starts. We have no idea what they're going to look like then. It's like we know what the Warriors are pretty much going to look like. They're barring injury and like whatever around Christmas. We pretty much, I guess the Mavs will be a little bit different because obviously not having Jalen Brunson, but they got Spencer Dinwiddie, so. But I guess my point is it's like sometimes with the teams that are just like, you don't know what the shit they're going to be. Knicks, for me, they're kind of on there with that.
Yeah.
Like if anything, Go like Knicks Mavs and do a Jalen Brunson storyline or something.
go.
See, I know.
Yeah, I'm not the. I just think there are too many games. It's one thing.
That's
Like, I
fair.
see Steven in the chat go, come on, watch. It's great to sit down with the family and watch hoops. Do stop being so damn negative. No, it's not being. I mean, here's the thing. Like, you think the typical family is going, all right, let's sit down and watch NBA all day. We gotta watch that 9:30 game all the way up until that 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock tip off. I mean, it's just a lot. If there's one game I'm watching, it's probably maybe the morning game and then the late game, Grizzlies Warriors. That's it.
When you say watching, that means like you're tuned in, focusing on it, kind
Sure.
of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, there's been Christmases like I've wanted to watch games all day, and then there's times when a game isn't that great and you want to take a break.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just background noise, man. That's why you shouldn't play them on Christmas. You try to make these marquee matchups.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people aren't like watching a ton of
And
it.
you know what else is so easy though on like Christmas Day? Football. And why? Because the pace of the game, right? It's so much easier having that game on in the background. I say that as someone who doesn't talk football anymore, but that's truly what I just feel because of how that game is played.
Yeah, again, this is not me saying like I have no interest in it. I just think there are some games that I'm like, why play on Christmas night?
Hey, will you be sad if the Kings ever got a Christmas Day game?
No, I think I would. I would not, because it would be a huge indicator that they're awesome.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that at this point they have one scheduled nationally televised game in January. And by the way, it's a game that could get switched out if they get off to a bad start or the other team. You know, if it's not like a marquee matchup, the league may not even have them play that game. But there's also a chance that if the Kings are good, that they do get some ESPN games later on in the season.
Yeah, that would be a sign that good things were happening.
I saw episode 2 of The Run today. It's like
my
a
God.
YouTube series that the Kings put out.
Well done.
Can I just say that Jordy Fernandez may be one of my favorite people already. I want to run through a wall. I'm going to play a clip today, right now, that was put out from the episode today.
Okay.
And tell me you just don't, this message. Just listen to this message. It's about a minute long from Jordy Fernandez. He's talking to the Summer League team.
I always get caught with results. Results is, I'm a winner and I hate to lose. I don't give 4 fucks about winning and losing. I am a fighter. So what I care about is how you win and how you lose. And if you fight every day and you compete and you do it, you get 1% better, I'm pretty sure we're gonna win more than we're gonna lose. But we have to do everything we do, we have to compete. You have a chance to prove it, and trust me that if you guys help us, we will help you. My goal here is to help everybody get a job. Is your level the NBA? We'll help you. Is it the NBA two-way? We'll help you. Is it the G League? I've been a head coach in the G League. Any level, I think we can help you. We're going to San Francisco, we're going to Las Vegas. Fucking business trip. Hey, ready?
Let's go! The 4 fucks line got me. 'Cause, you know, I don't give 2 fucks.
4 fucks.
He doesn't give 1. He doesn't give 2. He doesn't give 4. I'm a fighter. That was like a promo, dude. If there was a crowd there and he was saying that, the crowd is popping. This is awesome. Holy shit! Holy shit! And you see Keegan nod in that clip right when he said it. Keegan's like, yeah, damn, okay.
So it's great. I love it. And I love being excited about it. You're allowed to be excited about it. But we're also still very realistic that these are just clips that we're seeing, but be fired up because they have that type of coach and that type of mentality leading the way, managing these young guys.
Yeah, the full video is on the Kings YouTube page. It's about 18 minutes long. It kind of goes over the start of Summer League. It also has some behind the scenes footage of like Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter at the Kings facility for the first time. Keegan like signing his contract along with Keon Ellis, Kata. There's some good like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just a good look. I mean, it to me, it kind of had that like Hard Knocks-esque feel. Not necessarily like a football where guys are fighting or anything, but that was Jordy Fernandez just being real. And I know it's one clip and it's not like we get to see every coach and every assistant coach on camera talking to their players.
Sure.
But he seems like he's got this like calm approach, intense, loving, and compassionate mindset. It's like the total package to me. And when you have that type of package, players can connect with that. He wasn't just being a rah-rah guy up there. No, it was a good message. It was strong. It was assertive. Boom.
Let's go.
Let's get to work.
Being honest, and then also understanding that there's a lot of guys in that room that will be playing in the G League, and it's great that if that is their goal, he is saying right there as a leader, like, I'm going to help you reach one of these goals. Like, that is what I want to do. So
JVZ has a great point. There's substance in everything he says. Sato in the chat says, best part to me was in the locker room when he said 27 deflections, or in the huddle to Nimi, 4 blocks in 4 minutes, backing up that rah-rah talk with clear metrics focused on effort and defense. Yeah. At one point after the game, he goes, we had 27 effing deflections or something like that. That would lead the world, is what he said. No, it was cool. And I think having a guy like that on your staff, and he's a very important, vital part to Mike Brown's staff.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I know I've talked to Doug about him. Doug's really, really likes Jordy.
I mean, we've been excited about him just from obviously watching and reading more things on him when we heard his name was in the mix to be an assistant coach, to be on Mike Brown's coaching staff. And you're going to get excited when you watch stuff. We understand that completely. But even the stuff I was watching on YouTube, when he Nuggets, it's just like, you could tell that this is one of those good people you need around. And the good people help set a good culture. And I know Kings fans have been like, we've heard this before, and we get excited, with some other coaches before as well. Like, think about this. Like, even when Rico Hines was here, and we were really excited about what his impact could be. And not to say that he didn't have an impact, but we always think even with Davion, could he change the entire defensive culture? No, that's not always how it's going to be with these coaches or these players. But that's why if you see one of those puzzle pieces, like, it can complete that puzzle.
The other thing that Jordy said in there, as I spoiled the whole entire episode for you, but this came to mind, is in his speech to the team, he was talking about he wants his bench to be the best bench in Summer League, meaning like the most supportive. Like, I want you guys up constantly.
It goes a long way.
And that just little things like that. I don't know. I like him, and I think he's gonna be an important part. I think the worst thing you think about with him is he may not be here that long. That type of like mindset and approach to the game and understanding and feel. He's a smart dude. He may be an NBA head coach at some point in the next few years.
I don't want to get there.
Okay.
Come on. What's that? You're the womp womp womp.
I didn't say Jordy Fernandez will be the best head coach in NBA history when he gets to. I said he may be an NBA head coach in the next few years. That's a wild thing to say. Yeah, I'm done with
I don't
you
like
tonight.
that reality.
We are like how many minutes in? We are 30 minutes in. I'm already done with you. You want to take our first call tonight?
Hell yeah.
I saw you making faces behind me. Let's go and start first on Twitter Spaces and check in with Christian. What is up, Christian?
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
How you guys doing?
We're good, man. How are you?
I am good. I'm excited. I remember I started following you guys last season, and then I went through that whole up and down feeling that you get with the Kings fans. So
yeah, I was gonna say that we all deal with like every single year for the last 16 years.
16 years of national media outlets ignoring the Kings when they get close to a playoff picture.
Hey, I'm telling you, if the Kings are good this year, they're going to be talked about a lot. Like if they're like a 500 team, people are going to be talking about him.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Mark Spears predicted that they would be a playoff team. So now he's going to be watching that. And if they get close to that, you know, he's going to be putting himself over.
Oh,
he's going to be loving it.
But we would all love it too. So I get it. I'm also that type of person though that's like, show me something. And I think sometimes we get super excited about the adjustments made to a roster, but we also have to understand how much it like all starts at the top, and culture, are all those things really changing to set this positive culture surrounding these guys to have.
Whoa,
you just said that. Whoa.
I didn't mean to play that.
To have and play fun basketball.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, absolutely. I wanted to ask real quick an NBA question.
Yes.
Besides maybe the Spurs and maybe the Jazz not being in the playoff picture this year, depending on what happens with Mitchell, is there any other team that you think might drop out if things just go crazy?
Man, well, the team that was in like last year that would drop out besides the teams you mentioned.
Yeah, like in my head, I look at something like Dallas could fall apart if things just don't go the way they want it to go.
Man, well, I'd be shocked if that happened, even if they dipped. I mean, they won 52 games last year, and Luka looks to be in great shape at this point, which I think if he's coming into camp in the best shape he's been in, I think that's going to go a long way. I think he's going to be motivated to perform at a high level. I'm not like bullish on them to be a contender in the West, but I mean, if they drop, I don't think it would be dropping out unless Luka went down.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it's going to be tough, man. I mean, we mentioned those two teams, Utah and San Antonio, dropping out. That's really about it to me. I mean, even Phoenix, I'm not high going into the season on Phoenix. I just think the combination of how the season ended, which is really weird, the whole DeAndre Ayton offseason where, you know, he wanted to go to Indiana. They ended up matching the deal. He's back, and he had that issue at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Did I mention Chris Paul already? Probably. No. Okay, Chris Paul in his age. Like, I don't know. Like, it could be weird, but, like, is it going to be them dropping out? No. So, I don't know. And then you have the threat of the Lakers, right? Like, even if you don't think they're a playoff team or a legit contender, like, if they're healthy, it would be surprising if they weren't a play-in team.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not only just because they have LeBron James on this squad. You know, maybe this new coaching staff can inspire and bring something else out of them. Understand if, let's say Russ is on the roster, what if they could even bring something different out of him, even if it's not so much understanding his role, like all basketball fans would love to see him do, but it was just something different to his game.
I mean, you're bringing up the Kings fans' worst nightmare is the Lakers keeping the Kings out of the play.
Oh God. Or a Lakers Kings. How about a Lakers Kings play-in? Kings win.
Oh, that would be heaven. Right there.
Yeah, and then Portland. You know, I think they're gonna have a shot. I'm not. You know, Portland to me, they'll be improved if Dame is healthy, but I'm not going to go crazy over them at this point. I don't think they're going to make a giant jump. But
ESPN has them.
They'll be in the play-in. Well, yeah, everyone has them like far ahead of the Kings, like 6-7 games. Basically, to sum this all up, man, is I think there are two teams that you say at this point are for sure not making it, right? Houston, San Antonio. And then if you do want to throw in Utah because Mitchell gets moved, there's three. OKC, I would not predict them to get into the play-in.
But you just don't know what they're going to do with Shea. Like, you don't know.
There is a world where they could get the play-in.
That's what I'm saying.
Unless Presti was like, that's not happening. SGA, can we give you some surgery? Hey, Giddy, your groin hurts, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. So it's gonna be hell to get there. But enjoy the ride.
Of course, absolutely. And I hope that to be able to call in more to after Kings games for you guys, because I think it's gonna be a real fun year.
Oh hell yeah, we're excited to talk to you.
I do too. As we get closer and closer, Morgan.
Yeah.
Deuce is getting more and more confident.
This is what you do.
Sleep. Go ahead.
I'm not in that sleeping in the team, dude.
Good night, sleep on the team.
Okay.
I'll be here telling you.
That's
I
fine.
told you so when we.
But it's like if you throw enough shit on the wall, something's eventually going to stick. You do this every year. You do this, and you get me excited. You get me excited.
Whoa. Hit the rewind right now. Did I put them over a ton last year? I just said they'd win over 36 and a half games.
I didn't say put them over. I said get excited. Getting excited. Now, this is a different level of excitement, facts, and there's actual things to make it seem like it could be better. There's been lots of changes. But yeah, and I appreciate your excitement, and sometimes I follow your excitement, and other times, like last year, I really did not. But you weren't putting them over.
I don't like you saying the word excitement with me and the Kings last year. I'm sorry. I disagree with that.
Okay. You were.
I thought they could be a play-in team.
Come on. How
I'm
would
sorry.
you
Did they miss the plan by 100 games? They were close.
How was your emotions though? Like that is exciting. That would be defined or like.
I mean, it'd be fun, but I am excited.
Excitement.
I'm legitimately excited about this team. I mean, I think the last time I was this excited about a season was after the 18-19 season when they won 39 games. I'm thinking, all right, maybe they could build off this. They could really be over 500 this year. Maybe they could 50 games. I don't know. Fox goes crazy. That was insane. I reflect back on that, and that was a big mistake, okay? I'm not the only one who thought they were going to maybe be good that year, but that's fine. I'll own that.
Okay.
This year going into the season, I just think I like how they constructed the roster, new vibes. My guy Jordy Fernandez doesn't give 4 fucks about what you think, Morgan. This is not about winning or losing. This is about fighting. And I'm a fighter. See, Jordy Fernandez got me fired up. Let's go.
He's going to quote Jordy Fernandez after every podcast or after every game presser, post-game presser.
Oh, I need a timeout here. Steven just said I fell for the Davion hype super hard, too. Wait. The hype of him being able to impact the game with his defense?
No.
If anything, hold on, Morgan. If we're going to play the game Deuce is wrong, which I have no problem playing. I admit when I'm wrong, but damn it, you better give me credit when I'm right 97% of the time. But with Davion, I thought he could impact the Kings' overall defense more than he was able to.
Yes, I agree.
That was a huge miss. But in terms of what he brought to the floor, I like his game.
And not only that, it was a huge miss. Hey, wait. It was a huge miss on year one. He's a rookie.
And he can't change the culture of the team still.
Right.
Like, he could still have a big impact on things and his vibe and his work ethic, and they've changed the parts.
You guys, year one, that's okay. Deuce, you had higher expectations for him year one on that end of the floor, like as a whole, as a team defense, as a culture.
Well, you know what?
And that's okay.
There's sometimes someone on this show has to make a statement and not sit on the fence.
I don't sit on the fence with everything.
You have splinters in your ass from sitting on the fence.
No, that sounds awful. 1, 2, I also started last season, saying that they were going to win 32 games or something. 32 games. I think it was even. No, it wasn't 32 games. I said, hey, they're going to win. I took the under on the 36 and a half. That's what I did. People were pissed off at me. Like, if some people thought I was so stupid, and I'm like, what? How is that? That's an educated guess. And then I was very right. Didn't shove it in your faces. Shoving it in your faces now.
Okay, now we're done with the when we were wrong and right.
Yeah, that bit's over.
Let's go and check in with our next person on Twitter Spaces, and that is Boise. Boise, why am I not allowing you to talk right now? I'm not seeing the request. Derp. Derp.
Buttons.
Yeah, vitamins. All right. Boise, what's up? Welcome in to Night Chat with Deuce and Mo. What is up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man.
Hey.
I'm going to say this right now.
Oh.
I just got the feeling. Like, my Kings feeling, 99% right. I'm like that guy with it. So let's start off right here. I say we either get the 7th or 14th seed. No in between. I just think, I don't know. I don't trust Dallas no more. I don't really trust Utah. I don't buy it. I think that's our potential. But I also think we could just, don't want to curse or anything,
Boise.
like skunk out.
Boise. Well, you realize what you just said. You said you're
Oh, no,
right. You said you're.
I realized
you
what I just
came
said.
in here hot. You came in here like you're. I thought I was up in my seat. I know you can't see me. I was up in my seat. I was ready to go. Give me a hell yeah! Grab me a beer because I thought you were gonna fire me up. And you go. I think they could finish between 7 and 14.
No,
Thanks.
I didn't say finish between. I said finish 7 or 14. No in between.
No in between. That's right. Sorry, I got lost in the fact that you fired me up and then let me down by dropping 7. Cool. You're just gonna pick 2 random numbers. Cool.
I totally thought he said or
not
in
random.
between.
No, sorry. Not random at all. I'm telling you, like
It's not even a. Can I just be honest? Not a good enough take to me. It's a kind of a weak.
it's a great take. It's
Boise,
a great take.
Boise. It's like one of the safest picks you can make. I either think
7
they're
or 14 is safe.
yes. This is what you're saying. The Kings are either going to be really bad or they're going to be a playoff team. Whoa!
No.
Settle down.
No. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. No.
Boise.
Okay.
What?
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm walking like the middle of nowhere right now. So
Yeah, you sound out
I
of
just
breath.
feel it. Oh, I know. No, I'm walking uphill. I'm like right by the beach.
Oh my
I'm
God.
in Tijuana
Whoa,
right now.
whoa. Wait, where?
Tijuana.
Are you serious? Shout out Tijuana. What are you doing there, man?
I'm just be here for the month. I'm bored.
Oh.
What a life.
Yeah.
I'm bored. I'm going to Tijuana for a month.
I love that. So
No.
yeah.
It's dangerous right now. I'm like, it's not that good right now.
Oh,
Well,
hang
okay.
in there.
Well,
okay.
yep. Just stay on the phone with us. We'll keep you safe. Yelling at you about your 7 or 14 prediction.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
no. I'm just saying. Come on, Boise. Tell us why you thought that was such like a strong take. All of our
Great
takes.
take. I'm not going to argue the whatever. I can't think of the word. I'm walking.
Validity.
Yeah, thank you, dude. God, you read my mind.
I know.
You hear the random dot. Okay, I just think I don't know. I just got that feeling, you know. Like when I said the Kings were going to get the 4th pick, and we got it. When I said we draft Davion,
Aw.
and we did. I'm just like, you can read my chat. I'm in the chat. So I'm like,
Boise.
I don't know. I think the bonus fuck. It's just like it's a nice little thing. I mean, we always have like a lesser roster than the Pelicans, but we always seem to be in the same range with them. So I'm like, why not 7? Why not 7?
Why
son?
not?
Why not?
You know what? Your explanation was said with so much passion and belief in your instincts that
man.
I appreciate. I don't think you're right. And I don't. Wait, no. Just listen.
I'm just joking.
I don't think you're right, and I don't think that it's a strong take. But because you said it with so much passion, you made me believe a little bit. Okay.
Well, thank you. Then I gotta go because I'm walking through a little other place right now.
All
But
right. Yeah,
thank
get
you.
out. Yeah,
Take care.
Be safe. Be safe. Be safe.
He was like, "There's a random dog." I'm like,
Oh my God, yeah, get away.
don't pet it.
He did come in kind of like, oh, I got something. For
I
you.
was
thought he
totally expecting
I thought it was
something
like
else.
a Jordy Fernandez-esque thing coming, and then it was.
It was a
total
very
letdown. Yeah.
like even for me, that's sitting on the fence. And I already said this to Boise while he was on here, so I'm not talking smack about him now. Sitting on the fence.
Someone says this guy is amazing. Steven says Boise is an interesting dude in a weird neighbor that you avoid sort of way. All right, let's go to King Bung is back. Let's go to the King of Kings. Welcome into Night Chat with Deuce and Mo. King, good to hear from you again.
What's up, guys? Dude, I got to shout out Boise, though. What an absolute unhinged masterpiece of a call. That was fantastic. I wasn't ready for that, honestly. Like, he was already, like, came in at bat out of hell, and then he just throws in, oh, yeah, I'm in Tijuana. Like, that was incredible.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yes, we have some of the best callers, so that was also a good one.
Yeah, I wanted to go off of what Christian was saying about teams that might collapse, like who we would need to fall, and like who I was looking at. One is the Lakers. Like, honestly, the Lakers could finish like 1 or out of the play-in, and I wouldn't be surprised. Like, you never know with LeBron and AD if they could get it together, or it could all crumble again.
I just can't see them being 1. But I mean,
I don't think it will. But if it does, I'll be like, yeah, for sure. You know, like
I think man. I feel like we did this with Tom Brady at one point in the NFL, so you don't want to start doubting.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
maybe this is when they do it, and look, Tom Brady's getting ready to play again. And LeBron had put up incredible numbers, right? I'm not even saying he's gonna like fall apart. I think with him, he's been getting nicked up more and more, and at some point, you should slow down. I just think for the Lakers, it's not just about AD being great. They do still need LeBron to play at this high level because look at what else is around them. Even if you like some of the moves they made, I don't know how you could. Like some people, hey, Lonnie Walker.
Hey,
okay, maybe that helps you out. I do like Damian Jones. That's a nice pickup as like a backup big. But they still have the dynamic that's weird, and it's Russell Westbrook. Now, if Darvin Ham can tap into something that no one really has been able to tap into with him, and he like buys in and plays this incredible role, that could be helpful. But it's not going to change the fact that he still has shortcomings like as a shooter. And like,
well, wait, he does, but also LeBron, we always talk about how Russ has to adjust his game, and that's more just adjusting his mindset. I feel like LeBron, we talk about he needs to play at the best of the best. How many times did he settle last season, right? And that's mostly due to injuries and being nicked up and getting a little older. And so if you're not as explosive, which he still is very explosive and can get to the rim, but his game has to adjust. So his shot, his outside game needs to be better. And it doesn't even have to be his outside game. His passing ability is phenomenal. So like maybe just being more on the lookout for the other people moving around and making things happen, and they're not clearing the way.
I am, in normal years, you look at, when are the Kings playing the Lakers because you get to see LeBron. Now I'm looking at when the Kings play the Lakers to see if they're winning 3 or 4 games against them this year based on the schedule.
Wait, you're what?
Never mind. I'm just showing my confidence. I'm not worried about the Lakers as a team this year.
Okay.
They got to prove it. They got to prove it can come together. I said,
fine.
Definitely do.
Did you understand why I was saying King Bung? Because apparently Morgan, that went over her head.
No, I'm with you, man. Like they're one of the worst constructed teams in the league, but like they're able to. When you have LeBron, you can do things differently. But I don't even feel like they've done a good job of building around LeBron these last 2 seasons. Like they've just kind of been like, hey, who wants to show up to the Lakers show? Like it's just like it's kind of a who, like not a who's who, like just who. Like it's not good. I didn't mean for this to be a whole Lakers segment, honestly, but I do like hearing good Lakers slander.
It's night chat, man. It can
anything
go
goes.
anywhere, man.
It happens.
Yeah.
I feel you. My next one, if you're a Kings fan, you've got to be rooting for Donovan Mitchell to get traded to anywhere in the Eastern Conference. If that goes down, I think Utah's just off the board for the season, which is what everyone's assuming. We're just got to wait for this to go down. And then other teams I'm looking at are like teams who've had like major changes going into this next season. So obviously Minnesota, I think that I don't know if it'll work because they've like really hemorrhaged their bench. But if they can pull off the 2 bigs and free up Cat to play, out wide, maybe it'll be awesome. I think there's like a world where they're kind of like Chicago of last season, where they're like top 3 those first couple months, and then like they'll settle back down.
Yeah.
But there's a world where that team could be really fun, and that's really scary.
It is scary, and I think Ant is the scariest one of all those
Oh
guys
my
we
God.
just named. So it's going to be
Morgan Ant's our best player,
right? And that alone, I think, seeing him with another year after with more experience, and then these 2 bigs, we don't know how it's going to play out, especially on the offensive end. We know what it can bring on the defensive end, but even that the game
a problem.
It's like how many guys.
Some matchups could be great,
right? And others, there could be a lot of stretching the floor. So they're just the wild card. But you're right. I think there's going to be a lot of like good things about this squad, but then that just doesn't work as teams figure them out.
I think Ant right now in the league is like in the Luka spot from like a couple years ago, where like we were like, when's Luka gonna pop? When's it gonna happen? And like it happened. He got to the Western Conference Finals. He put the team on his back. He just dethroned the Suns. Like he didn't get all the way there, but like we're like, okay, Luka's clearly like in the conversation. He hasn't gotten MVP yet, but he made that jump. And like Ant is in that bubble spot right now, where it's like, if Ant pops next season, it won't even matter about the 2 big world. It's just like if Ant can be what people are thinking he's going to be, like he could take over. It would be scary. I remember I went to both of those Minnesota games, those back-to-back Minnesota games, and he honestly like didn't play great in either of those, but just like in little like just one little layup he'll do here, and you're like, oh my god, he just barrels through dudes. Like it's frightening.
I mean, and you like to think that with a full off season and putting in that work should be even better, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, I'm with you on Minnesota from this standpoint. They definitely hurt their depth. They also added a much needed rim protector. and a guy who can play defense at a very high level. The challenge is, how does that work out against smaller lineups? Teams do a lot of pick and rolls. Like, how are they going to handle all of that? There are definitely challenges. Yeah. I mean, they are kind of a wild card team. I feel like I am so anti-Minnesota with the exception of Cat that I have trouble even talking about them because, what I just don't. I'm sorry,
Wait,
ants.
why?
Thank you. He meant ant. He
Ants.
meant ant.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes way more sense.
With
That's
yeah.
two, man.
Okay, my bad, Cat. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's not that big of a mess.
I actually didn't know what you were saying.
Yeah,
actually.
we were
that
all
was why I was
freaked out.
confused. Yeah.
We were all like, what? Where's Deuce going with this? You hate Minnesota with the exception of Ant, not
Which
hate.
is probably stupid of me to say
It
anything
is.
bad because I would, Minnesota calls about an NBA play-by-play job. Hey, love to have you. Oh, cool. Actually, we just saw tape. You don't like Cat, and you're kind of anti-Minnesota with the exception of Ant.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know. I'm not totally sold on what they did.
I'm not either. I think there's a big gap there's a lot of possibility for it to all just collapse.
And I don't know if I'm in the minority on this. I probably am, but I don't love how much money they gave Cat. Like did they need to do that today? Did they have to get that done? Was that like, oh, we got to get this done now? I mean, I don't know. I just think when you're paying, I worry. We talk so much about Gobert and Cat. It better work out great because those two guys make a ton of money combined. And that's invested, in my opinion, into their second and third best players. Their best player, in my opinion, will be, if it's not already, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. Well, you guys too, what's that going to do for Cat's, even his offensive game with playing right by Rudy Gobert? You look at his year last year. I know as much as there was times last year they were just, you don't know who was number one between Cat and Ant, right? And I feel like we're all in the same boat where we kind of feel like Ant's going to take off more on experience under his belt. But now I'm also thinking like, what's going to happen with Cat and his offensive game just when, I don't know, he's going to the rack, but no one has to go out and stretch the floor with Rudy. Is he going to start lobbing it up to Rudy? Like, what is his offensive identity going to be?
Shoot more threes.
I don't know.
Well,
But probably.
Anything else, King?
One last team that I'm looking at that could collapse and could be a big boon is with Zion Williamson being reintroduced to the Pelicans. There's a world where that just really messes up the jive that they had going, and that like Ingram is standing in the corner again and starts getting that look on his face, and like things just don't mesh well, and like that team, I could see that being a big sticking point.
And it could be, and I think the good thing for them, I think they have the right head coach to manage that.
You got a good point.
And I think it is a challenge. There's no denying it, especially it's not just Zion coming back, right? It's him coming back after not playing for so long too.
Yeah.
So it's about getting him going, seeing how he's moving, what kind of shape is he in coming into the season, right? Like those are all big questions. And then it is figuring out the team dynamics, like CJ hasn't played with him either, right? And they had a team that was competitive and fun, and they got it together at the end of the year. But as a coach, you're going, give me Zion. This guy can be unbelievable if he's able to stay on the floor. It could be a game changer.
And are we just questioning his personality at all and what type of dynamic that would change because he's a bigger star? Is that what we're all kind of thinking here? Because honestly, have we ever heard anything bad about Zion? I think even his camp talking about, want New York or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess he made a comment about New York at one point too. But like, that doesn't make him like a bad guy. The dynamic could absolutely be amazing. It seems like they have a lot of good guys with a lot of good heads on their shoulder that understood the grind, then plus a leader in CJ. I don't know.
Also, there's something encouraging to me about the fact that he was around the team later in the year. And because he was not around, and that's where it was really weird. And then you heard all those rumors, but he was there at the end, and being around and being able to see how Willie Green could orchestrate in key moments of playoff games, right? Feeling the energy. In a way, he's probably thinking, I want to be in this. I want to play in this. Like if the Pelicans had like a bad year and didn't make the playoffs, he wouldn't have felt that maybe same way. Maybe the dynamics are a little different. But I think he's going to want this.
I would assume so too. Don't get me wrong. The Pelicans are my favorite team in 2K because like when you just slot Zion in there with that team, like they're ridiculous and they're so deep. Like guys like Larry Nance and Jose Alvarado, like off their bench, like they have a ton of potential. And like I think it's more likely that they take over. So like my greater point is just like with each of these that we've looked at, it's totally possible that they're all good teams. And like as much as I want to be hyped for the season and I'm really excited, like it's pretty realistic we'll be at the bottom of the play-in. Like, because even if we play well, and like, it's just like we have to come out from the start of the season like it's already playoffs, and like there are no like drop games. Like they're like if they come out and are like like give it up in quarters again, like we've seen, like they won't make it, and it's going to be hard from the start all the way to the end.
They do play 4 of their first 5 games at home to start the year.
That is nice.
Just give me a little nugget there.
I mean,
is that a little drop?
Yeah.
Unless something changes. But yeah, I mean, no, you're right. It's every night in the league's tough. Like when we look at the full schedule on Wednesday, we're going to be like, oh man, this is a tough stretch. And it's like, no, the whole season's tough because there's a lot of talent in this league. There are more good teams than bad teams for sure.
It.
You've got a couple of really bad ones and then kind of some teams that you could lose to on a given night.
And that's why you guys, even if they are a better team, there's still going to be a lot of teams that they competitively lose to, right? And I always say that because I think even with those losses, you're just hoping when they face that adversity that it's different than what we saw from last year. It's different than what we saw from the year before, right? Like the body language, the effort. I know it's so hard to fight through losing a lot of games and not being one of the best teams in the league, but when you get over that hump and find that way of what clicks for you and your team mentally, like you can do a lot of good things.
Getting deep tonight.
Yeah, that was deep.
Getting deep tonight. Well, King, thanks for checking in, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. That was awesome.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon. You want to take some more?
Yes.
Well, we should mention first, though, that tonight's Night Chat presented by our friends over at the Detail Pros of Sacramento.
Can I get a hell yeah for
Hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah.
the sexiest, cleanest cars in the whole damn world?
So
and that's a fact.
Nick is an awesome guy. He runs the Detail Pros of Sacramento. Go to detailprosac.com. Be honest with yourself right now. Think about what your car looks like. If you're listening to this later and you're listening on a Bluetooth device, or if you're running at the gym, you're just listening on your computer, just think about what your car looks like. I guarantee you 90% of our listeners' cars look like complete and utter trash inside, and they probably don't wash their car enough. So what I'm challenging you is to be better. Be like Deuce Mason. Be like Morgan Reagan. Hit my guy up, Nick. He will make your car look sexy. Be prideful. And by the way, he's a Kings fan. Just go to his website, thedetailprosac.com. Schedule your appointment today.
A little harsh, but honestly, Deuce wasn't lying.
Thank you.
How's that?
I appreciate it.
And
For
I'm not
once in your
soft.
life,
Thank
you.
I am with you on that because even for such a clean person, my car was not dirty. And then
here we go.
Was
dirty. I get it. Everyone's car is dirty. People don't have time to clean them.
No. And no, I get it. Like, stop being a piece of shit and get your car cleaned, right?
And if you mentioned the Deuce and Mo podcast.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. You get a free paint sealant upgrade valued at $125. So Nick's hooking up all the Deuce bags and Morons out there, and I'm serious. It's the best thing you can do for your car is go to Nick.
Also presented by New York Times best-selling author. She started from writing books, getting denied left and right, and now she's self-published. And look at her. She's T.R. Reagan. She writes thrillers that are dark, twisted. They're not what I would recommend if you're like not into, I don't know, being grossed out and scared and what. It's a thrill ride. But buckle up. They're great. I read the Lizzie Gardner series and I like binge read it on my Kindle in like, I don't know, a week and a half.
That's what everyone says about her books too, is that they're just easy to read through. And one thing Deuce and I talked about the other day is how much more we want to read more. And it's just something that's good for you. And so if you just have a good story that you're kind of attached to too, and you want to do something different than a movie, read a T.R. Reagan book. They're great.
Appreciate her support of the Deuce and Mo podcast. Yeah, I do need to read more because everything I read, or at least I went through a phase during the pandemic. You know, everyone tried to like do cool things in the pandemic. You know, it's like
Mine was bread.
hey, dude, how about I start like a garden? You know, like, and then you realize, wait, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna grow some tomatoes, man.
Is that what you said at one point?
Yeah, and that lasted a week and a half, and I'm like, oh no, see, you know, and then I started reading more. I did read like 15 books.
I
was in it.
Cooler than planting some tomatoes.
I do want to read more. I started reading again last night. Besides, I typically what I do before bed, which is probably not the best thing to do, is I like to read like the New York Times about what's going on in the world,
Not
and
healthy.
then I'll mix in the athletics. I'm gonna start. I'm reading The Color of Law right now.
Ooh, yes.
It's a really good book.
I know you told me some good things about that. If you're interested in a book.
I mean, it's beyond like sad, but it's a great. I think everyone should read it.
Yeah. History, man.
Yeah, it's very insightful. All right, let's take some more calls, Morgan.
Let's do it. Oh, hello, Discord.
Let's go to Discord for this next one and check in with Pullover. What's up, Pullover? Unmute yourself and welcome into Night Chat.
Oh.
Oh,
Hey, what's up? What's up, man?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Never been better.
Dope.
Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to say it's a hot take, but I think the Kings are going to be the 6th seed this year.
Okay.
Okay, make your case. Make your case.
Yeah, what's your case?
Well, my case is that, I mean, look at last year. Injuries kind of ruined the Blazers, the Clippers, the Lakers, and I feel like every season is always one team that falls out of the race. And that could happen to like Dallas. That could happen, you know, to Memphis. And I think Kings are just gonna get lucky. I mean, it might not happen, but
I see.
think.
I see. So you think depending on what happens to another team, there could be luck involved for the Kings.
If seven teams in the West get ravaged by injuries, the Kings will finish 6th.
I like it.
I don't. If I were to say their ceiling, I do think it's a play-in team, which would be like, could they win a play-in game and actually secure a spot? That's the other thing we don't talk enough about. You know, back in the day, it's 1 through 8, and like if you thought the Kings could be a 7 seed, they would get in. The Kings at the end of the regular season could be the 7th seed and not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
God, that would hurt so
It
bad.
would hurt, but at the same time, it's like you had all those years, you had your opportunities.
But hey, trust me, I would love for them just to be in the mix. I mean, for me,
Same.
the goal, I'm not gonna say perfect season because like let's have greater expectations and aspirations, but 41 wins. Give me a 500 season. Just seeing that 5 for once and not. It's fun during the season.
You're
when
not saying
above
for
five.
next. You're just saying one day.
No, next year.
Oh dear God.
Next year. It's not outrageous. Morgan, you will get on board and you're going to be like, wow, dude.
That's fine. I am down to be on board. I will be on board. I will be excited to be on board. But I cannot confidently say that today with a team that we have not seen, even though on paper.
You can't see a world where that happens.
I feel like, Deuce, I sometimes feel like we don't factor in enough. We just think that because a lot of good changes happened, that there's still not the rest of the NBA to screw things up for them, right? And those 41 wins, like that is what the other teams are what screw with those wins. And those other teams are really good. And I just don't think we factor that in enough. And on a first year, you guys, a first year head coach, that's the other thing. Like, even if he's good at putting stuff in place and people buy in, you still have to practice it on the floor. Like, you still have to like grow it and get better.
I get that. And I think all those things I've considered. Morgan, you, just for the record, I put some thought into this. I wasn't just going.
I know.
I hope they can get to 41 wins. Do I think it's going to happen? I think there's a shot. I do think there's a legit shot at it. I think they can have a 500 season with all those things you just laid out because they've got talent too.
It's
and
not
talent does matter.
impossible. It's not impossible.
That's all I'm saying.
But I feel like you're saying like It's a possibility.
It is.
When really it's like, well, no, obviously it's not impossible. Like there's a chance for that to happen.
What's the percentage for you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Again, everyone,
What, everyone?
go
What?
ahead and write this down
Write it
tonight.
down.
It's August 15th.
How many things you've
There
written
is
down by Deuce?
just one person on this show that saw this. When we're replaying this and it's April, we're getting ready for a play-in game. We're going to reflect on this moment. I'm going to play this on Night Chat. We're all going to be like, wow, Deuce, you said it, 41.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Gee, and Morgan didn't see it coming. It was not even.
It's not that I don't
her
see
view.
good coming, because obviously, you guys, I'm not a moron. I understand that this is a better team with better pieces, and no matter what, you're going to see a better product out there. No matter what, it's not going to be like last year. It's not even close to last year. But it's just hard for me to say that that product in its first year without multiple all-stars, when the other part of the league has these all-stars that you're playing against to get those wins. I think I'm being very logical. I think I'm being very realistic, and I'm not being like, oh, I'm not on board or wanting this.
And this is what I think our audience has learned with you, Morgan.
What?
There's at no point you're ever going to be confident in it. Like that, Morgan. No, and it's fine, because it's not your view is not that you're negative. I'm not accusing you of being negative.
I
at
know
all.
I'm not negative.
I think you are being realistic in your world, but I also believe
My world.
yes, in your world, your fantasy land. But I do believe this. What?
No.
I believe that you won't believe they're good until they just do it. Like that you. I don't know if there's any point in this season where you're like, okay, I'll admit, I believe they turn around and be good. Like,
Oh my God. Yes, there will be. There will be that
I
point.
think you're very much the wait and see person a lot of the time. Is my point.
You give me 20 games into this season, I'm going to confidently say what they are. You give me 10 games into this season, I'm going to be like, this
10?
is what I think. Think they
that's
are.
early to me.
No, that's why I said what I think they are.
Okay.
And confidently at 20, I feel like their identity will start to show and there will be that growth. But there could be in the next 20 that they give you something else, and that was false hope. Or maybe it was just like teams are figuring them out and they need to evolve when teams figure them out. All those things are going to happen. All those things.
Well, let's just play my land. If they get to 500, which I think is a possibility, 41 wins. They're going to be below 500 for chunks of the season. You're going to be above. It's a 500 team. You're going to win just as much as you lose. So it'll still be fun, but be real about it too.
Yeah, I agree.
Almac is suggesting that I put something on the line if I think that's what's good. I'm not officially saying that, but he's suggesting that if I did make a prediction, if I'm wrong, I have to get a nose piercing. Which honestly...
No, that could like screw with your... Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know so many people that got nose piercings and things went bad. Like it got infected. And same with belly button and nose. I've heard it. But then there's also there's a lot of people with nose piercings and it does nothing.
And it worked out for them.
I just could
Like, give me
picture
my
you
thing.
not knowing how to take care
What
of
if that's
it.
my gimmick, dude? What if that's my new gimmick? It's my look. It's like, oh, that's that guy with the nose piercing, huh?
That is
He's a podcast. Would I go diamond or would I go loop? Or would I go in between, like
No,
that would hurt.
Yeah,
that would hurt.
no.
No. Wait, I go a nice loop
I think if you did hoop, you would be. It would just
with
not.
this haircut. I think I could pull. I think people are like, oh my, this guy's kind of. Is that guy in his like mid-20s?
I can't even. I don't want. No. The answer is no. The answer is no. Don't put anything like that on the line. A piercing? No. Do not put a piercing on the line. That's stupid.
I honestly, that might be it if I'm confident. I don't just throw these out yearly. I felt that last year. Oh wait, I just realized
What?
We still pullover was still here. We just
Oh my God, pullover. Are you still
pullover, I
there?
forgot about you, man. Sorry, man.
What's up?
Hey,
Hey.
dude, I love that you've just been like chilling. Okay, so what do you think?
About our 10-minute talk we just had since you asked your question.
I mean, I think the Kings, like I said, are going to be the 6th seed. It just takes a lot of luck. And the Wolves got in, the Pelicans got in, and a year ago from today, they were in the same tier as us. Like, you never know what's going to happen 20 games to the season, right? Who's going to get injured? But it's going to require tons of luck.
No. I mean, I think any good season in sports, there's luck involved. even for the teams who win it. I mean, the Warriors' path, a little easier than the Boston Celtics' path to the NBA Finals last year, right? And
Yeah.
like, isn't it, but I'm not trying to discredit what the Warriors did. They ultimately won that whole damn thing, but their path was a little easier.
And here's the other thing, you say that they were like in the same tier or whatever, and look at them now. But here's the thing that's also been different. There's usually like the multiple all-star, even in the conversation, guys in the conversation.
But don't you think, and I mean, obviously he's talking 6 seed, but I mean, if they had one all-star, I mean, that would indicate to me a team that's probably close to 500 for sure.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess. I don't know. I was talking though more about Minnesota and them being in a different tier a few years ago. But
well,
then
even going into last, I mean,
and I'm saying though, look at their squad. It is different. There are more established guys in some way. If you want to go by resume, if you want to go by eye test, whatever. Where it's like, we're just hoping that Kevin Huerter is going to be this sharpshooter on this team, not being with Trae Young anymore. We're just hoping that Malik Monk is going to take his game to even another level, being with a team without LeBron. There's things that we are just like hoping are going to happen, and we just don't know. You just don't know about those two things.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
those two guys.
Keegan could be an all-star this year. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I know people are like, "Are you Matt George? What are you doing?" Matt cracked me up the other night. He's like, "I think the Kings." What is his prediction? If people want to ever accuse me of having purple glasses on because I think there's a chance at 41 wins, Matt said on his podcast the other day that Davion Mitchell and Malik Monk could be 6th Man of the Year candidates. I'm like, damn, the Kings got 2 6-man candidates on their team. They may be really good.
It's funny. I would love if Matt just came out and was like, you know what, Deuce? And I'm doubling down on that. And he's actually right. And then he clips this.
Dude.
That would be amazing.
He's doubled down before. Did not work out for him.
That's why I said it.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
reference.
Dang, that went over my head. Pullover, thanks for checking in. If you have anything else before we move on, I'm sorry we kept talking for 10 minutes.
Very good. Just one request. I want you to flex your announcing skills. Pretend the Kings at home just clinched the 6th seed.
Oh. I feel like I don't.
Come on, Deuce.
I think putting out in the universe, I don't know if that's a great thing.
You put out into the universe every episode.
No, but like.
What are you afraid of it being clipped and then looking like an idiot?
Yeah, it's so. If I was ever in that position to make, then maybe I'm taking your question far too serious right now, because like it shouldn't be that serious. Because you're like, what would you do? I think I would have to be in the moment to know, because I would be legit. I can't fake what I would do or like because I think I would be so emotional in that moment, just as someone born and raised in Sacramento. So like to even fake it just wouldn't be authentic.
Fake some tears right now, like a tear rolling down your cheek and just like a little like excited, but not like choked up, but like
I can't fake
what
it.
A day.
That's what I would do.
No, don't. I'm not play by play.
Let's hear it, Deuce. Come on.
Don't. Don't do it.
I just
pull over. He's not going to put it out there in the universe right now.
I'll think about it. Keep listening. Maybe I'll do that. No.
Have a good night, y'all.
All right.
Bye. What's
As
nice?
God is my witness,
I
the Kings
stood
are
up for
playoff.
you while you were giving me shit for not singing earlier, but go on.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
I absolutely do.
I want it to be what it would be like.
Yeah.
It's like I could come up with some crazy thing. I don't know.
Your answer sounded a lot like something I would say. Logical and realistic. And so I appreciate your answer.
Juice, lettuce, yeah. Let's check in with Bolton. What's up, Bolton?
What's up, guys? How are y'all doing?
What's going on?
Not much. It's I'm calling in from Florida, so it's a bit late. What's it called? I moved over here from Sacramento to do a PhD program, so this is where I'll now be supporting the Kings, I guess.
Nice. Okay, so you gotta stay up late to watch those games, man.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I just have some thoughts about the upcoming season. I think one thing about that is just like it's one kind of goal, I guess, or expectation is like just be watchable. So when it's like 11 o'clock at night, that I'm just like I'm happy that I stayed up to watch that game.
That's a very, very no, it's so true though, because it's the same thing I said going into this season. It's like, hey, we're gonna have a product out there that we want to watch till the end. Now, I'm saying that with a lot of confidence, but that's what I'm hoping it's going to be.
Yeah. And I have another, like, I guess, question. I think the discussion that you guys have been having regarding like expectations for the Kings, like just a much larger expectation. I think the conversation you guys have been having is really interesting. And for Morgan, I think for you, the conversation or the idea that you brought up for you is like just to have a team that is look like it's growing and that, you know, it's look like it's evolving to a much better team. Yeah. And I know for Deuce, that's like a 41 win season. Morgan, you think that's kind of unrealistic for this team. Yeah. But like my kind of thoughts on it is like, or my expectations, like, can we keep Domantas Sabonis? Because I'm not sure that if we have, I'm not sure we can survive like not having at least a decent 40 to 41 win team. And so that type of like hoping for like progress and things like that will kind of like be retrograded down to not be essentially starting back from zero. So whatever progress and growth we could have will kind of not really happen next season. What's your
I think winning very fast is important if you want to keep Sabonis around. And like that's the Kings
I'm not denying that either.
The Kings are in such a tough spot too with Sabonis because like you traded Tyrese Halliburton for him, right? And there is, you know, a clock ticking like, hey, like you got to get this going in the right direction sooner rather than later because they're going to want to give him a ton of money, I assume. Now, the next question you would have to ask legitimately is what do they think the ceiling is with this group? Like, obviously, from a talent perspective, you keep a talent like him, but like at what cost too? Like if it's really expensive and you're like a team that, hey, maybe you're a playing team, does that make even sense? Like
or
that's
maybe
where it gets tough.
But maybe there's that thing where it's like you do need to pay him because you understand what he could be with a few more tweaks, right? Like it's like, oh, you're on that right track. You're on that right track. But yes, there's not a lot of time to just stay on that right track. I understand the importance of winning for those reasons and factoring in all those things. I understand that, but I'm also very realistic when it comes to playing on the basketball floor and how a team practices together and how a team at this level, at this NBA level, has very tough competition every single night. And not on top of that, tough competition that is established. There's a lot of established players around the league and not on this team. And that's nothing bad to say about the guys that are on the squad because hopefully all of them will take this next step as they're still in a good prime years of their career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, like when I look at this team, like I feel like a lot of their failures, I mean, I've only been really, really watching since like the last 2 years or so. But for me, what I've seen from this team a lot is kind of the lack of basketball like competence from the team. And
you're right. You are
it's
dead
so
on. For someone that's only been watching like more hardcore these last 2 years, you're dead on.
It was just such a funny way to say it, but very accurate.
Yeah. And so like it's been hard for me to see kind of where's that gap of like, you know, the teams are just better than them and just like they're just not that good. So it's kind of hard for you to make that kind of guess of like how much of the season is just going to be about like the teams are just better than them. Because I think the teams they're playing against are pretty similar. They're pretty competitive amongst like the 4 or 5 teams that will be competing for those playing spots.
Yeah.
And like the other side of that. So for me, it's kind of hard to kind of make the distinction. So for me, with my kind of knowledge, I think it's a lot more possible to get to that 500 mark, which I think 500 is not like amazing. It's just like a solid, okay team. Like you're not.
Everybody needs it, right? Everybody. I think the fans need it right now. And I know there's a portion of fans like, no, I'd rather like tank, like they shouldn't have made the trade, but I'm dealing with what we know. And this is the path they're choosing. They want to not go that direction. They want to get in and start winning to set a foundation and a culture and change the identity of Sacramento. I get all that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, yes, absolutely. And I don't give a damn if any NBA fan is listening to this
Fox
and is like, this is weird that they're that excited. It's not just about us being excited about low expectations. It's about being excited for that growth that we are talking about, for that realistic growth. And that's why when we say a 500 team this next season, I'm not saying that it's not something that could happen. Obviously it is. I just have a hard time, even when I see a name like Dame Lillard, although the Blazers defense was shit and they had dealt with a lot of injuries, they have some new things coming in that they have to also figure out and be patient with. But I just have a hard time when there's those other names on other teams in the Western Conference, especially.
I hear you. You got to see it. You got to see it. And you mentioned the Blazers. That's the opening night game. Kings Blazers in Sacramento.
That will tell everything about this next season.
Well, they opened the season last year in Portland and won too. So
I also went to the opening game last season, and I had a bunch of people who watch NBA but not like basketball. Like, oh, the Kings are going to be good. I'm like, oh, let's see. Yeah, that definitely. I mean, even though they played well, there were still those problems that we end up seeing later that killed them in the later. But yeah, so it's go.
I do think opening night is gonna be, people are gonna be fired up, and maybe I'm misreading. I just think I think people are excited by the moves. I think
I'm excited.
Fans are interested in Keegan Murray too. Like, I think people are pretty fired up. So opening night, you get a home opener. It's to start the NBA season, as my dear friend Kenny Caraway would say. Sounds like a movie. It was like a movie.
Is that what he says?
Opening night could be a movie.
I like it.
Yeah, I wish I can go. I'm gonna try to go in December when I'm off on school break and stuff like that. But I'll definitely be watching the games as I can, and hopefully all things turn out well, I guess.
Hell yeah!
Get ready for late November, guys.
What's late November?
The return of Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh my god.
Oh yes.
All right, man. Thanks for checking in.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate it. Let's give some shout outs real fast to everyone here watching us live on Night Chat. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. Shout out to Leezy, Colton, and Steven, who are still members. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Steven, with his membership, types in, don't extend Monte until the team doesn't suck. Yeah, I mean, look, I think you could make the case. I see the aspect of, hey, wait it out. Just wait till the end of the season. Well, it could cost you more money if you let it. Maybe he gets scooped up by someone else. If that's kind of the risk. I think he's done enough good.
Thank you.
To see this through. You let him trade Tyrese Halliburton. You let him do a lot. You have to let this play out.
Everyone wants it to be, and I get it.
He's drafted well in the first round.
His job as Monte McNair, you're supposed to come in and make things happen, right? But again, in this sport, to make things happen, there also has to be some patience in between, right? And yes, I wish ultimately that he got to pick a different head coach to start last season, right? That would have been.
Well, he could have done that starting last. I mean, right?
That's what so we think, yes. But that I get that. I get there's things that you miss on 100%, and we can all criticize those things.
Every GM misses for sure.
Absolutely. But all my point is don't you want some continuity? Don't you want sustainability? You guys, I want something stable that's going to last. And if there are good things happening, again, it is Sacramento. This isn't Los Angeles where you can snap a finger and get a star to get their ass over here and make things better. Malik Monk, one of the biggest free agent signings in recent Kings history, so you have to understand the caliber of player that's going to come here.
Right.
And it seems like what is going on right now is in the right direction.
And obviously this year will tell a lot, because I think they've drastically improved their roster. They're still flawed. They're not going to be a great defensive team. And, we talk so much, you mentioned the whole all-star thing. Other teams have all-stars. Yeah, but there's also something to the fact that you just have a pretty deep team of a lot of guys who can play. And there could be some guys on this Kings roster that you could make the case could be playing on other teams, maybe.
Right.
And may not have a role in Sacramento to start the season. Like Terrence Davis, he's an NBA player. He could play on. There are teams where Terrence Davis could play 15, 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes a night, 20. I don't know. He may not get any minutes in Sacramento because of some of the guys ahead of him.
Yeah.
And so I'm not proclaiming the Kings have a great team and full of stars by any means, but I think, you've got a nice group, a good team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. And I get on paper right now, it sounds like that too. And we We just know that it's going to be better. We just don't know how much better it is going to be against the competition in the league as well.
All right, let's continue on to we'll go to Discord, and then we will go to back to Spaces and then back to Discord. Heads up to the people there. Let's check in with Mark. Mark with a C. Welcome to the night chat. Mark. He's been waiting a long time.
I know.
Sorry, my bad.
Sorry.
I'm,
Hey, side note for the yeah, we hear you. Side note for the live chat, just for some context. This was Mark with a C. He's been on our Discord community for a long time. He's been on night chat multiple times. At one point last year, he said he was threatened to leave and depart as a Kings fan to go root for the Utah Jazz. You know, the super stable Utah Jazz at this point. He decided to stay. My whole point, though, is on Friday night, he was in our Discord. We have a Discord server that you could join. Links in, I think, our YouTube bio. But he was like asking me a wrestling question in the chat, and I didn't want to type, so I was gonna record a video and send it. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then he's like, hey, you want to hop in night chat? So we hopped into this very little night chat like section and talked WWE and AEW for probably 45 minutes. What kind of Friday night is that for Deuce Mason? Probably not a good one.
What kind of Friday night is that for Mark?
Oh, man.
What are you doing?
Oh, God. I'm going to invoice him for that. What's going on, Mark? What are you doing, Mark?
Are you okay?
Not much. How are you guys?
What's going on?
Where are you?
DoorDashing right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm DoorDashing.
Just, are you on a bike?
I'm working. I'm making money.
I like that.
No, I'm in my car.
You're in a car? Well, roll up the windows.
Yeah, what are you doing? Can you roll up the windows? There's noise. There's wind. You're on a call. Oh, yeah, it's something. Is your
way away from my car?
It's like your head is out the window.
Do you call your parents and roll down the windows too? Like, is that what you would do? Mark?
I'm waiting for an order outside of a crumble cookie.
Okay. And what's on your mind tonight, Mark?
Well, Mo, you know how this team actually could be 500? They get Anthony Davis. And you didn't see the trade in our Discord, but what do you think of that, Mo?
I think we know what I think of that.
Well, time out. What was the trade?
Yeah.
Harrison, Holmes, and Mitchell for 80.
Mark, come on, man.
Are you into part-time players or what?
What? That's you would make that trade in a second, Morgan.
No, for Anthony Davis.
Oh, really? Okay,
Morgan.
That's wild.
This is like probably one of your greatest misses.
You know how I feel about Anthony Davis in his game, and I think I
like his game.
Okay, I love his game when he's on the floor, but I also, Deuce, truly, and I hate saying this about players because I don't like talking shit about players. I think he's soft. I think he's so soft that he's not good for a young team.
All that said,
What?
you would still take
Or
him.
not a young team,
I played the laugh there because the Lakers would hang up the phone, dying laughing at that trade. You would picks
they would
be
they
involved.
would need
He's
picks.
under
Yes.
That's my point.
That
you're just anti Anthony Davis, which is a little
I'm not
weird.
anti Anthony
In
Davis.
that trade,
Davion, Barnes, and Holmes. Well, actually,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hey, your three is Fox, Sabonis, Davis.
I heard. Well, here's the thing, though. For that trade, yes, I guess ultimately, sorry, my whole point is that's not realistic, so that would never happen. So the trade would have to be so much more. And no, I wouldn't want Anthony Davis to break apart what the Kings would possibly be trying to grow. And so much more would mean Keegan Murray. It would mean Sabonis. You would need one of these players in this trade. They probably wouldn't even do it for De'Aaron.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that happen last year.
It's not happening.
Right. But that's why I don't
think. Mark, you just let Mark get us into. Well, let's move on from the AD thing. It's not happening, Mark.
Okay. Then Collins.
You're still on John Collins. Here's my other thing I would say. Like, I like John Collins. I do. But why do you want someone that plays in front of Keegan Murray? Like, and I know
He doesn't play in front of Keegan Murray. He doesn't, Deuce.
So what?
Keegan Murray can handle the freaking ball, so he plays the three very easily.
Stop. Playing the three easily. It's not just about being able to score. You have to be able to defend the three too. I'm not saying that he'll never be able to play the three. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But based on what I see him primarily as a 4 in the NBA. Could he play some 3 depending on the lineup? Sure. I don't know if he's your starting 3. I don't know. I mean, I just don't see that. Like, does that elevate you to another level to have Collins, Sabonis, and Keegan?
Could he evolve into more? Wait, Mark. Like, could he evolve into more of a 3-4? Possibly, but within his rookie year, I still see him more as a 4-3.
Yeah.
And I think but also we're talking about something that's like not realistic anyway, but let's just say John Collins, whatever. I'm just curious.
John Collins isn't realistic?
No. What would you have to give up for John Collins?
You could do something very similar. The nice part is they could call Atlanta up and see if they can fix the really weird protections on the Herter pick and see if they can give him a straight out pick and maybe some seconds.
Oh, you're doing the weird James Ham thing. Look, one, moving the protections on the pick. I just don't envision that happening. I think if the Kings were going to land John Collins before the season started, it would have already happened by now. I mean, they would have tried to do something when the Kevin Herter trade. It doesn't make much sense to like not do it then. So I don't know. Maybe they're still in on him. Maybe you're right, and they think Keegan can be a full-time 3, and then you would have that lineup. I just don't think that deal is gonna that deal is gonna happen before the season.
Yeah, as you can tell, both of those trades have Harrison involved, and I'm not high on Harrison Barnes anymore.
Okay.
If Harrison can play the 4 and the 3, then Keegan can play the 4 and the 3 because Harrison has no defense.
Okay.
So
I mean, that's. I would not say he has no defense. There are matchups he struggles against, but we kind of highlighted this last night, chat, when we were talking about he's playing the 4 sometimes. He probably should just play the 3, in my opinion. There's 3s that will give him problems. I think he's a smart player, and I think around a better defensive team, having some more athletic pieces, some more guys that are committed, a game plan that could really put him in the best position to succeed. The Kings need to have a good team defense. I think Harrison could be a good team defender.
Yes.
That's fair. I don't know. With the way his contract is, like, why not just try to get the value now and not have him be less valuable at the trade deadline? Or just let him go. That's so dumb, just to let an asset go.
Okay, I mean, it happens sometimes, it happens in the NBA. I mean, but if you feel like he can help you win and achieve what you want, you don't just trade him just to trade him. Be like, hey, you know what? We didn't let him go for nothing. We got something back. Does that something actually help you get to the next level? The other assumption you're making is, do you think that maybe, just maybe, the Hawks are like, yeah, we don't really want a Collins Barnes swap. Maybe they're like, no, we want to pick with that too. There's so many factors.
Well, I did say change up the pick status, but
that's
fair enough. But I just think, and it's not just Atlanta. Like, there's been other teams that have been wanting Barnes at some points or another. Boston at one point, Utah at one point. Like, hopefully one of these bigger trades happen. Like, I think the Donovan one is probably more likely than the KD one right now. But, like, jump in with one of those guys and move Barnes and get
what are you getting back?
for it.
What are you getting back that's going to help you this year? I think there's an assumption that you move Barnes and you get better somehow. It's like, no, it'd probably be Barnes and additional pieces. Like, maybe if you got to throw in a pick down the road that's not falling into the Atlanta-Sacramento protection in the Kevin Herter deal. Like, there's this like notion, hey, you got to move Barnes. Like, you do? Well, he can't. You need someone to play small forward. He could play it. He's a good shooter. I think he plays even in a better role now because they're not asking as much for him offensively. He's been a 40% 3-point shooter since coming to Sacramento. Yeah, I mean, more spacing. I think he's going to be way better this year for Sacramento. And even if you don't think he's going to be way better, again, tell me in what move are you moving Harrison Barnes realistically and getting better this upcoming year? Is there a small forward who's filling that void? You think Keegan? Okay.
So let's go with the Utah one. You can go get Bogdanovich, and you can go get the guy that you really like in Beverly. So you get the dog mentality in Beverly that you really like, and then you get Bogdanovich is still a good shooter.
Okay, so just by the way, following your logic, okay, why would you get Bogdanovich? Why would you get him? He's a
3-4,
but he's going to leave next year. He's a free agent. Wait, what are you going to do with his expiring deal? You're just going to let him walk?
That's fair enough.
And you know what? And do not.
He was expiring.
Yeah,
so.
See, thank you. Okay.
I thought he was
if you're going to come to the table with the basketball mind, if you're going to go ahead and take a seat, undo your napkin, and want to feast on some basketball conversation with a basketball mind, then you got to bring it. You can't come in here with, what about this trade? And you're wrong.
Was I wrong, or was I just not knowing the contract?
Okay, Mark, this is where you missed the point. Okay, I just cut a great promo on you. Let it breathe for a second.
But it was a bad promo because you were wrong in the promo.
Oh, no.
MJF isn't wrong in his promos.
Oh.
Okay. You know, if this was wrestling, you wouldn't even have the damn mic. So you better settle down. You would be a jobber. I don't know. You'd be an extra. You'd be in Adam Rose's Rosebuds back in the day with.
I'd be in the back riding. That's all I care about.
Now with these crap trade ideas,
cute.
you wouldn't.
Oh.
The Beverly thing. The thing about Beverly, I don't love. Again, I guess he's technically expiring. I think if I'm remembering right, because he got that extension in Minnesota. I think it's $13 million, but I don't know what he's on the books for. I think there's an option in there. Okay.
Then he's still good. So
I just again, where does he play? So you're paying him $13 million to just take minutes away from who Davion Mitchell?
I mean, maybe Mitchell has to go in the trade somehow. Maybe you're getting stuff from.
So you're trading in your fantasy land. You're trading Harrison Barnes and Davion Mitchell. You have to include more for salary purposes, and you're getting back Bogdanovich from Utah and Beverly. You're giving up a young point guard on a team-friendly deal.
And maybe some from whatever team Donovan's going to.
All right, Mark, you got to go back.
I'm just saying, bro.
You got to go back to the drawing board. All right.
So you guys are still on the Barnes should be on this team to start the season.
Again, if there's a good trade out, like I said, I'm fine with him being on the team to start the season. Mark, I'm gonna go to some other people though. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. There's Mark.
You guys have a good night.
Yeah, you
Bye,
too.
Mark.
So, yeah, I think we really hit the Harrison Barnes thing last week, so I don't think we need to.
We don't need
take
to
a
hit it
deep
again.
dive. But,
well, and on top of that, again, going back to the Anthony Davis trade, it's funny because looking back at how I said, absolutely not. With those names, yes.
Yeah.
But overall, that doesn't matter. That's not my point. I just know that that's not what it would be. And I think with a lot of these trades, there's just not a lot of logic. So why talk about it? You know?
Right.
Why even break it down for as long as you did?
Was that too long?
You flirted with
Do you understand?
concept.
So during the season, we do these night chats where we stay long and talk for a long time with the people. And then after the season, we go into morning chat mode where it's just you and I, maybe a guest or whatever. We don't really talk to people.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my bad. I'm just talking a lot to people.
Oh, no, I appreciate it, but I need Mark to bring it, though, next time. And, he needs to bring the more logical moves that would make sense because he's smarter than that, and that's why.
Let's get to some people in the chat. Shout out to people watching us live right now. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. It helps our channel grow. Duh. Let's see. There was a super chat donation from Mike. $2 from him. Appreciate you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
His question's really random.
Okay.
Since WNBA loses money, how do athletes get more money? Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, I think the compensation has to be greater, but they're running a business too. But I think there are definitely things that the WNBA just needs to get better at. One, definitely pay your players more. Get creative. There are more WNBA fans than ever. The league is deeper than ever. But but you have to get creative and continue the promotion of players to get more eyeballs. I do think it helps that NBA players are, going to games, they're invested.
Sure.
I think the next generation digs these hoopers,
Absolutely.
The game's really good. And the one thing they could really change is they don't need to be flying Southwest.
But that's my main thing. You saw the other night when the LA Sparks had to sleep in the airport, and it's just these are professional athletes. I don't care what there's people with a lot of money running these teams too. There is money within. Make sure the money's going in the right places to the ones that deserve the right type of travel to perform at the highest levels when they get somewhere. There's just there's so many things that factor in to the comfort, the health, and how it helps so many other things. It would help the product. Even.
Hey, the one owner who seemingly is really invested and wants to do more is Mark Davis with the Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah.
And
He's been great.
And he can't be oh, we're going to fly you private. He wants to, but you can't. It's an unfair advantage. The league won't allow it.
Yep.
All right, let's continue on. Let's go back. And this is another Mark with a C here.
What?
Let's go to Mark David before we go back to Twitter Spaces. What's up, Mark David? Unmute yourself and welcome into Night Chat.
Hey, Juice. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So I'm all the way from the Philippines. So congratulations. You're all around the world now.
Dude, Philippines.
I
Philippines.
love it.
You got a big basketball community. You guys love basketball.
We are, and I have a sister there down at Sacramento,
Nice.
Rancho Cordova, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So I got a sister there. Anyway, I just like to comment on what you're talking about, how the Kings are going to perform. So I understand both of you. Wherein Mo is trying to be more pragmatic about it, how Juice is trying to project the performance. It's like selling a house. Your Juice is saying, all right, this house is gonna sell for this much. I'm projecting the market it's going to sell this much. But what Mo is saying is you got to sell it first and then see how much it sells. So that's pretty much how you guys are talking about things. So I would say
that's fine.
I would like to side with Mo here, wherein we got to go ahead and see them play. But of course, it doesn't.
Yeah, you're right. So you guys sit on that fence, get nice and comfy all year, sitting on the fence as it pokes you in the ass. Here's what I could tell you is I have watched the game. I have seen these players play. This collection of talent. If this team didn't say Sacramento and it said Portland on it and this was the roster, I would like this team. It doesn't matter that they play in Sacramento. I think this is going to be a fun team. They're going to do some great things offensively. They're going to be extremely frustrating at times defensively, but they're going to be way better than the Vegas things. 32.5 wins. Are you kidding me? I do think they will be right around a 500 team.
Mark, I thought your breakdown was absolutely perfect. So thank you.
Yeah, well, I agree with Juice, though. You have to go ahead and project the market at some point. You have to start somewhere. So I would agree with him that, on a best case scenario, that, when Fox and Sabonis' pick and roll is working up to par, all of your shooters are getting their 39-40% a night, then I would say we can go beyond 36 wins and maybe
I hear you, man.
Yeah, but we are projecting. That's what Mo is saying. We are projecting, but we have to go in and see them play first. But I'm with you with the optimism. I want to go ahead and see more Davion Mitchell and a Fox backcourt, wherein you go ahead and see Davion Mitchell distributing, and then Fox is going to be more on the scorer because that's what he really is. That's why I felt bad when Tyrese Halliburton was traded, because I felt like you really need a facilitator, and you need to go ahead and set Fox free and let him score, because that, I think, is his natural role. So that's what my take on it. Thank you for having me, guys.
Dude, and yeah, shout out Mark.
Thank you,
shout out to the
Mark.
Philippines. Philippines! Stand up. Appreciate you, man. All right, he is gone.
Dude, I love it.
All right.
Just that was logical.
Here we go. All right, let's go to Twitter Spaces now and check in with Peter. What's up, Peter?
What's good, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go ahead and pretend like both those Mark calls didn't happen, and because I was honestly like trying to block all that out and like stay focused on like what I originally wanted to talk about, which was just that we're having a lot of like optimistic takes tonight. It seems like one guy said like the 6th seed. I think another guy said the 7th or the 14th, which I don't even know what the hell that means. But I'm going to go the opposite direction with it.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask you guys because like we know it's possible. It's not a matter of if it happens or not. But let's say that it's next season and the Kings are picking 12th in the lottery or something like that. Like 10th in the lottery, well, whatever. Like they just slightly missed out on the playoffs.
Yeah. Oof.
Is that like worst case scenario? And let me remind you as well. Like when Monte made that trade, trading the pick for Hoarder. I mean, he obviously the 2023 draft is shaping up to be like really good. People are starting to say that like, you know, nobody wants to trade any picks from that year because it's going to be like such a great draft. So my question is, I guess, like, would that really be worst case scenario? Because like Morgan said like a while back, it's probably been like an hour since she said the P word that most Kings fans don't want to hear. We don't want to talk about, but patience.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say that they make the 7th seed next year. And like you guys mentioned, like they could get knocked out first game of the play-in or whatever. Or, I mean, I guess they would need to get,
right.
They would need to lose twice in order to get knocked out of the play-in in that scenario. But let's say that happens. They get a good pick, which is in the lottery range. And then the following year, you've still got Sabonis under contract going into his last year, granted, but you've got Fox, you have Herter, you've got Mitchell still, provided he's not traded. You've got another year on to Keegan Murray's development. And you have a lottery pick in a loaded draft to add to that.
I think look, I hear what you're saying. I just think it is so vital that this looks like it's going truly in the right direction. And it's like, if you finish and you get like the 10th pick, sure, you can get, we've seen in previous drafts, you can get a good player in that range, even especially if it's a deep draft. But then it's like, then Fox is in year 7 and you haven't won with him. And then Sabonis, it's like his future is a question mark. Harrison Barnes is a free agent. Like, I just think it's crazy. And this is how fragile it is, right? Is like when we talked about the Halliburton Sabonis trade, it was like, what's the ceiling?
Yep.
And if it could go bad, I hear what you're saying. Would it be terrible? I actually think it would not be great for the vibes unless you truly were like, man, they won 39 games and it felt good. I guess, but I don't know that it would feel good.
So here's my thing, you guys. I think good things are going to happen this season, but what you're saying right now is so realistic, right? Like, not only because we've seen this story play out pretty much just like that, except without the actual better team at the end of the season. Usually it's still just like a team that's like, okay, there needs to be a lot of change next season. So I think with this team, I understand like wanting to make a lot of change. If you look at De'Aaron Fox going into his 7th year and Sabonis going into his final year of his contract, 2023?
Yes, next year will be. Yeah.
Yes. So like, I get the optics look really bad if you were just going to continue that. But don't you think that maybe if you felt like things were pretty good, you stick with it, but you make the tweaks. And sometimes that tweak could even be a big player like a De'Aaron Fox if he didn't show up in year 6. You know? Like, I just think there could be major tweaks to that. I don't think it's about, oh man, blow it up, fire everyone, get rid of everything. It's like, then you should have done that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, honestly, I guess I'll try to go the James Ham route and use a construction reference. But so let's say that they're just building on like a terrible foundation, right? But they're starting to add some really nice pieces. Like they redid the kitchen. They, put in all new, like modern looking appliances and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're still like, let's just say like the foundation is like less than ideal. That is like a recipe for like, that's the only reason I bring that up, like the opposite scenario where it could go a completely different direction. Like, you know, and I'm not even like jumping to like De'Aaron being traded or anything like that. Like that would obviously be like a pretty big extreme. Then you have to ask yourself like what's left. But I just can see a scenario where like either like I don't want to sit on the fence, kind of like the 7 and 14 guy.
Yeah.
But you know, like I can honestly see like either or playing out.
No, and I think really quick though, just going even to your whole like the foundation, you have to like doesn't mean that the foundation of the home is necessarily good, but I think when you make some tweaks that you can always make more tweaks to that, right? Like you can fix certain things with experience and with continuity, with, you know, just keeping things the same in what you believe. If there's like the eye test and it's like, man, but this, and this is so much better, but the numbers weren't better. The win-loss column wasn't better. You know, whatever, not as bad as last year, but you get what I'm saying. Like some of those things aren't going to be better. And we are going to all feel like it's a failure. But you also have to keep in mind if you see some sort of growth and you're like, this tweak right here, Monte needs to find that going into next year.
Yeah, I don't even think the foundation would, I mean, I think the foundation for Sacramento has to be built on setting a standard and a culture. Of course, you need talent.
Yeah.
But in your analogy, I think Fox and Sabonis would be some nice remodeled rooms. And around them, you had like, last year you had, you know, you had a couple nice rooms. Oh, this room needs some final touches.
Rooms,
Not complete, but there's something here. And then you had like black mold and like 3 others.
Oh, yeah.
It was
That's
big
pretty,
house.
yes.
So
big house.
The mold's gone.
Yeah, the mold is gone.
There's some nice things. You got some new drywall up. You got that repaired. Blake says it best in the chat. Don't complicate things. This looks like a good roster. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Thanks for checking in, Drew. All right, let's check in with.
Interesting.
I know I called him Peter, but I knew that was Drew. He has a different alias, so I introed him as Peter and said bye, Drew, and people are going, "Well, Deuce is really losing it tonight."
That's funny.
Nadreem has been here for a few. Sorry for the wait, Nadreem. We've got people on. What's going on, man? Welcome to the night chat.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
One second. Can you guys hear me? Hello.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
Oh, let's go! Awesome, man. Hey, I'm such a big fan of this podcast. Just want to say that. And you know, I just want to say my hot take. Hey, Kings are getting 40 wins this season. You know, I think that's a realistic goal. You know, I don't know if you guys watched that viral video of those Kings fans after the California Classic.
Yeah, I did see that viral video.
I was wearing the Davion Mitchell jersey in that video.
That's awesome.
Can we just acknowledge the fact that he came in here to drop his hot take, which isn't a hot take in my mind.
And not in your mind.
A 40. And he had to let everyone know.
I love it.
I was the guy.
I love it.
I was the guy that saw it at the California Classic as I was walking away after the Kings improved to like 2-0, 3-0 in the summer league. I said
I love that you said that because it's like I could picture you in my mind and how you're talking and your excitement, and you even saying that 40 wins was a hot take, where in a lot of people's eyes that's not a hot take this season. But I don't even think it's a hot take. I just don't think it's going to be 40, but I could be completely wrong.
And can we rewind real fast to what you were starting your call with about how much you love our podcast? What's your favorite part about our podcast?
As of recently, I'll be honest with you guys. I really love you guys' interviews, man. Like the interview that you did with Davion Mitchell and Chima Moneke. Like, I really appreciate you guys doing that. And
you didn't really have to answer. I was kind of kidding,
so
but
nice.
thank you for
Thank
saying
you.
that.
Yeah,
I'm so you enjoy our interviews, our night chats, not so much. Okay, cool.
That's good. I do. I just love how, like, I'm from an area, right, where it's mainly a lot of Warriors and Lakers fan. I'm probably the only Kings fan that I know of. So I don't ever really get to hear much like Kings basketball, and then just being part of the the live chat and everything. It's really cool just to be part of that like community where I actually get to hear people's opinions, thoughts, and it's just a good little group to just chilling.
Dude.
Appreciate you guys.
Well, yeah, I appreciate the nice words. Thank you for making me feel great about myself, man. And a great job with the viral video too. That was
Thank
fun.
you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Kings Nation, baby, you got to represent. You
Let's
know,
go. Let's go.
You know, being surrounded by so many of those bandwagon fans, you know how to let them know that hey, it's our time.
Dude,
it's our time.
Oh, I love it.
Real talk though, how are you going to be annoyed by bandwagon Kings fans at one point when they're good? I'm not saying.
Oh,
anything.
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I already
yeah.
tell everyone at my work, I'm like, you just wait,
Yeah.
wait. Like you're gonna be telling me like, oh, I've always liked them or this and that. I'm like I know. I'll always be remembering that, man.
Oh yeah, we're noting everyone. Every person. No, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, thank you guys. You know, I just want to leave that little, you know, I got to head out, but I appreciate you guys so much. Keep doing what you're doing. Do you guys actually have anyone else that you guys will be interviewing anytime soon?
We hope so. We're working on things. We're always trying to get some people on the show. We've reached out to a few.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I mean, we really want Mike Brown on.
That would be cool.
happens.
Okay.
That would be great. And we're always working on different players. So just because we haven't had them on doesn't mean we're not trying.
Gotcha.
But
well, Morgan and Deuce, you guys are awesome. Keep doing what
appreciate
you're
it, man.
doing.
Thank you so
Much
much.
love. Hey, 40 wins. Let's get it.
Hey, no offense. I want 41, man.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's talk about
it.
All right, man.
I'm all about it. All right, take it
See
easy,
you,
guys.
dude. Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I totally dig the energy tonight, even for the people.
Yeah. Can I just say, I didn't expect this to go this route tonight.
No.
This was not. I didn't think we were going to start breaking down expectations on August 15th before the schedule has officially
Dude,
been released.
we had a
but
whole sheet that we didn't even.
There's stuff
Right,
I
we
said
can
we're
save
going
it
to talk about
for Wednesday. We'll save it for Wednesday. No, it's truly like I don't know. I think
the Giannis Chicago thing is not a big deal, right?
it's not a big deal at all.
I just had to mention it because we said that at the beginning.
Yeah,
of the
no,
podcast.
that's fair. And then let me just say really quick, it's not a big deal at all. If another player said it, I would, and I didn't know them well, I'd be like, oh, what do they mean by that? Like, where are they trying to play? But it's Giannis. You know, it's one of the nicest guys. He's not saying it with any intent like, hey, Chicago, look at me. He's just saying it so genuinely what the Chicago Bulls means to basketball.
Or he could lie like Kyrie. It was like saying, like, I'm a Celtic for life or whatever he said. And he's been on like 8 teams since. So
you can hear it.
No, I do think Giannis is genuine. Yeah, his quote was, I think anybody you asked that question that plays basketball, if they said no, he'd be a liar when asked about Chicago. It's a team that won multiple championships. It's a team that had one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player to ever play his game, played for. So it's a no-brainer. Everybody would love to play for Chicago. It's a very diplomatic answer. He's just being nice to a Bulls reporter. It's Giannis being nice. He's not leaving.
Yeah.
He just signed a 4-year deal. They've won a championship. He's awesome. He loves Milwaukee. Like,
yeah, and anyone that
coming
thinks
up in February.
differently-
Do you think the Kings have a shot at trading for Giannis? He wants out now.
I'm gonna go with Holmes, Barnes, and Davion. Sorry, Mark. I had to do it.
This league.
Yeah. I think it's him being endearing.
All right, let's check in with Ross. What's up, Ross?
Yo, what's up, guys? How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, wonderful, man! A shout out to that last guy's energy. He got me hyped.
Oh yeah.
And that whole video was hilarious for like a few days. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the fact that like Kings, and I know like a lot of people on social media clowned on Kings fans for like, oh my God, they're excited about 40 wins. It's like, one, yes, but two, like, how about this fan was just having a lot of fun at a game in July where, 78% of the fan bases don't care.
Exactly. That's a great point.
You know what? Kings fans actually came out in the comments, bro. I was expecting us to get killed, and they kind of showed up, man. People are already starting to turn into bandwagon Kings fans. So
Do you think Patrick Beverly was crazy celebrating after Minnesota won the play-in?
No,
Sacramento fans, I mean, they may be flipping over cars downtown.
Oh.
I'm going to go break into Mike's cameras.
We don't encourage that, any of that.
People are going to be like,
Deuce, why are you on top of a burning car?
Yeah, no. Everyone needs to like keep the energy cool if that happens, but it's hilarious because these fans are just different. And like whether someone wants to look at someone calling out 40 wins for the Sacramento Kings who have not been close and for how long, it's like,
oh my God,
just let the fan that's like enjoying the game just be a fan. He's a fan. It's not like some reporter screaming out 40 games.
Don't can you picture now?
What?
They win the play-in. I'm outside, and you go, Deuce, why are you on top of Piglet and Doko?
Stupid. Don't do that.
No, honestly, you can't really hurt Kings fans. We're almost to the point where you can't hurt us anymore. We're like that movie where we get like broken down and the montage scene is started and like we're about to like break out and like, yeah, it's our time. You can't hurt us anymore. There's so much shit.
There's like no other fan. Like anytime fans go at me like from opposing fan bases on Twitter, I'm just like, look, there's nothing you could say about the playoff drought that's going to impact me. Like you're not going to trigger me here. Like,
yeah,
I'm more than aware. Okay. We've been through it. All right.
Like,
yes.
We know
you're not going to make me mad because your team sucks. Yeah. They've been mad for a long time.
Bad.
Like, cool.
Yeah. We're unfazed. It is going to be special. I do bring this up often, but like, we've been through it. It sucks. Yeah, we dealt with it. Like, but now we're actually at the point where it's going to be that much more special. Yeah, it really was not great the last 16 years. Even though I got to give all us Kings fans credit. I mean, we had hella fun the last 16 years, and it's been horrible. Like, we're awesome.
Yeah,
we're awesome.
We're true sports fans because we got a community and we support our team. And I always tell people, especially like. I wait tables, and if I see like a teenage kid with a Kings hat on, I tell him like, dude, I grew up rooting for this team for 10 years and they were trash. Like, and then when we first made the playoffs, I still remember going out on my porch, literally banging pots and pans when we were like clinched to go to the playoffs against Seattle. And like, I'll never forget that, but this is going to be like crazier than that.
Well, if they make the play-in, then Deuce and I will bang some pots and pans in here in your honor.
Deuce and Mo might be live with the people at some establishment. Going live for night chat.
So fun.
Oh no, that's gonna end poorly, bro. Anyways, I know you talked about the Barnes thing already, but I just kind of wanted to touch on it real quick because I was so like trade Harrison Barnes the last two trade deadlines, like. I've told you guys about my Twitter meltdowns, and I couldn't understand why we kept him. But I've come full circle. I'm like, I don't know why, but, I'm usually the trade for this guy, but I've been trying to like make different lineups with Barnes not in it, and it feels like a puzzle piece is missing. And one thing that I kind of thought about was like, you keep him here just this year, just for stability alone, and you hope that the team takes enough step that now we're stable and we can make the next push because the following year is Sabonis' contract, and we can't like
winning will help. Yes,
yep.
I mean, who even knows how this season goes? But you can't. And honestly, we could trade Barnes and still be fine, but we can't risk anything right now. Like, we have a good lineup. We have a thing going on right now. And Barnes is quiet, but he's probably means a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah. Here's my thing, too, just really quick. I just think if there isn't a thing going on for some reason, if there isn't, and I'm saying, like, remember that 20 games in kind of mark, you've got to just be aggressive. And I say that just so casually. What does that really mean? What is Monte McNair going to do to make the changes quick? Because then truly, because like we keep talking about, you got to do anything you can do to keep winning around, to keep Sabonis happy, like all these, not to say that he wouldn't be happy. That's not his personality, but it's like, you would want him to sign an extension here. So of course you want to show what this team could be. And yeah, if things are not good within quickly, you got to make sure to make those tweaks.
I have a question.
What?
Do you think anyone, when we post the audio of this podcast tonight, is going to listen to this whole 2 hours?
Has it been 2 hours? Wow.
I didn't think we were going to be talking about this. That's what I like about these random conversations. There's not obviously a ton going on, but it's good to hear from Kings fans about like what their expectations are.
Yeah.
I didn't really plan on this happening, but I think with the schedule about to come out in the next couple of days, I think people are just, starting to look at things a little more closely, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's different energy tonight than it even was last night, chat. So,
well, we appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe too. Let's check in with King 294. What's up, King 924 or 294?
Z94, dude.
That's not a Z. That's a 2.
Z.
That's definitely
it's
a 2.
Kings
Okay.
94.
Either way, like we're talking to him, he should be talking. By
Yeah.
now,
Why aren't you talking, Kings 94? What if he's like, you're not saying it right? It's King 294.
All right. Going once. Going twice. Done. All right. Let's go to Twitter Spaces now. Check in with Felipe. What is up,
Hey,
Felipe?
what's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
Glad to be talking to you guys finally.
I'm sorry?
And I was just, I'm glad to finally talk to you guys. I've been listening to you for the past 3 years, and I really love your show.
Well, thank you so much, Felipe. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, of course. I think if the Kings would be a better team, you guys would be superstars for sure. But
Oh, you're
Man, Felipe, you're making me emotional here.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
Hey, we love
Too
what we're
kind.
doing. The community, it's honestly like me and Morgan have talked about a lot. Off season, when there's nothing going on, it changes. But dude, when the season's here and there's always stuff going on, our numbers have grown so much over the last like year and a half on YouTube, the audio numbers, and
You guys are insane.
someone at Summer
Thank
League
you.
with the NBA was like, it's crazy like how well you guys are doing when the team's not good.
Multiple people.
Yeah. So I do think, our podcast, and I think there's so many good Kings content creators out there who are doing awesome things, and they're having great success too. So yeah, I think just like anything, I mean, if this market is so unique with how into the product people are despite the results,
People are
and
into the community.
and that's the other thing. It's
So
the
are-
community is really cool.
yeah, I really believe the team is gonna win 40 games this year because the team is really versatile, and also we got depth this year as well, which we didn't have for the past
It's fair.
few years for sure. If you saw our starting center last year, Holmes got hurt, so it was just like Jones and TT, and that's not a good starting centers at all. And like even like our four, we were struggling. Bagley always hurt, and Buddy Hield just shooting everything and not caring about the team. And that really, like to have a teammate like that, like Buddy Hield in your team that just shoots and doesn't care about the team winning, that really affected players,
Yeah, I think a lot of things are going to change even for the culture this season, just kind of like you're saying, and I get that. And Deuce and I have talked about this so many times, just how there's like you said, there's a little bit more depth. There's better depth. This team is versatile. I think the only thing that's going to stand in their way, finally, it's not going to be themselves. Like when they face adversity and stuff, I think it's going to be so many other teams that are just better than them, but I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
You know what I love about right now, at least with our podcast tonight? There's optimism in the air.
There is.
Which crazy is optimism is like 41 wins, but we suddenly called it was like 6 seed, But my point is, it feels nice because once the season starts, we know that feeling. We know the feeling of all of us coming together after a night, after a game where it's like, Kings with another bad third quarter. They've lost 7 of 8. And they're headed out on a 7-game road trip against all teams above 500. Like, we know these feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So just enjoy the moment tonight. Let's enjoy tonight.
No, I'm going to definitely soak it all in because if things get bad at any point, even if it's short points, those points are really low of lows.
Hey,
so
it's gonna be.
We're not talking about the lows.
There's gonna be lows this year.
And
there's gonna be times.
I know.
Because when you have a 500 team, there's gonna be a few times you're gonna be like, I don't know, maybe. How
Did
close
you just say when you have a 500 team?
Yeah, when you have a.
I see what you're saying.
Well, because I think they're going to be close to 500. Yeah, so when you have a 500 team, there are going to be stretches throughout the journey where you're going to question, oh no, they're 25 and 30 right now. Is it about to fall apart? And it could swing a different way. You never know.
Yeah.
So anyway, appreciate the call, man.
Of course.
Thanks for the support. Thanks for the kind words, man. Yeah, you too, man.
You.
This is super nice, man. Let's get to one more before we call it a night. Check in with JVZ. What's up, JVZ?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Oh, JVZ has the mic out. He's ready to go.
What's up,
I do.
JVZ?
This is actually my work mic.
Amazing.
But yeah, I wanted to touch on kind of the optimism, and I think one of the ways that I like to convince people to be optimistic is it's kind of the Coach Nick route. It's, you ask why not? Why can't we hit these ambitious targets that we set for ourselves? Because I think we're feeling a bit burned by our past. It's been bad for 16 years, but none of those teams from the last 16 years are playing the schedule for us this year. It's the team we have now that is playing that schedule, and we're feeling pretty good about the roster. We can all admit that, at least. So I think already that's a reason to be a bit more optimistic. And if you try to look at the things that might go wrong, I mean, obviously injuries that are there, that's an obvious one. But I think the thing that scares me the most maybe is, what if Fox doesn't pick it up on defense like we're hoping?
Sure.
That scares me a little bit.
Or just doesn't take a leap in his game for some reason. And I only say it like that, JVZ, because last season I had so much confidence in him taking a leap, and it didn't happen, that I'm just very much wait and see. I believe he can do it. I believe he can do some great things out there. I need to see it for myself to start off consistent with him. And yes, that's the scariest one.
Yeah, I think for me it is Keegan Murray might struggle in his adjustment to the NBA, but
you bite your tongue, JVZ. You bite that tongue.
I feel like he's earned the benefit of the doubt not to, and I feel like when I put this list together, I actually wrote a list together what things might go wrong. And
it's Sacramento. Are you still writing? Have you been writing for 7 weeks now?
Right, but that's the thing. It's like a couple of these things, I feel like the team has earned the benefit of the doubt. I feel like Mike Brown as a coach, okay, maybe people might not buy in, or the structure might be bad or something, but I feel like Mike Brown, the coach, has earned the benefit of the doubt. So I want to strike that off the list. I want to strike the idea that Keegan Murray isn't going to fit in off the list, because I very much believe that he can.
Okay.
Maybe Davion will regress. That I don't think that's likely either. So he's earned the benefit of the doubt. We are returning a lot of the same players from last year, but it's not the players that I wouldn't give the benefit of the doubt to. I mean, maybe some people might not give Harrison Barnes the benefit of the doubt, but everybody else on the team, I feel like has earned a little bit of wiggle room here, especially with the new scheme. I think we can make the assumption that these guys are professionals and will listen to their coach and at least try. And I feel like that's a good foundation there. Somebody was talking about foundations earlier, and I feel like the coaching staff is the foundation here, and I just have a lot of confidence in them, and it's a group of coaches that has earned the benefit of the doubt. I feel like Luke Walton, when he came in here, he didn't really have our benefit of the doubt. He came from a situation that wasn't so great. He had just recently gotten fired, whereas here we're pulling a coach from the NBA champions, who has a good track record of doing a lot of the things that we want this team to do, that we want this team to get better at. And I just feel like with all that, looking at all those things that might go wrong and realizing that a lot of things aren't that likely to go wrong, that raises my floor a lot. I don't know if I'm
Yeah, look at that. Not a lot of things could go wrong, Morgan. That's what JVZ says. You think I'm getting crazy tonight?
I thought your breakdown was fair. And that's why, like, I think alone when you do factor in Mike Brown and the coaching staff, and I loved how you worded it. You're pulling a coach from a championship team, and not just like taking one that was fired along the way that has a good resume, or not Luke, but I'm saying just any other. It's like you are pulling one from a championship team who understands the culture at a championship level. Now, is this guy and his coaching staff are they going to be capable of implementing that into this team with these players? I think they have a good cast, a good roster to do that with, some guys with some good heads on their shoulders. And it definitely, those things, that foundation of both those things look good.
Yeah, a lot of the pieces are right. We got ourselves a good stew going. The oven might break, or the stove might break, but we can't really worry about that now. I feel like now is the time to get excited. Now is the time to get energetic, and it's until this team. I feel like we got some people that until the team proves they can be good, they're not going to believe it. And for me, I feel like we've got so many of the right pieces. We've made so many positive steps that until the team proves that they can't do the things that we assume that they're going to do, then I'm not willing to lose faith in them. I don't know if I'm actually at 40 wins like you are at Deuce, but I feel like high 30s plus watchable games every night.
JVZ,
and that would make me so happy.
I appreciate you checking in, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks, JVZ.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
I'm
What?
I have so many. The way he was talking, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Not a lot could go wrong, blah, blah. I was ready for him to say like 45, 50 wins. And he goes, but I'm not sure they can get to 500. I'm going, oh, geez,
no,
okay.
I thought that was I thought that was such a fair breakdown because that's how I feel. Like, I feel like there are a lot more things. That's what his breakdown sounded to me a lot like mine in the sense of like, really being optimistic about so many things going right and there being this good foundation, but it doesn't necessarily mean that win-loss column is going to be at 41 wins. And I think that is a fair analysis. It's a fair analysis.
That's fine. That's interesting. All right. Well, it's been a fun conversation. Didn't think we were going to go this long talking about this. We will have a new episode of the podcast coming up on Wednesday. Once the schedule comes out, we're talking about it. We'll have some other topics along the way. We appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe on the way out. We love you, but we gots to go.
You're all badass for being here. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.